All right, welcome to the LGA course in Growth School. So excited to have you here. And what you're going to learn in this course is first, how to start, grow, and scale the most profitable SMMA in existence, which is the LGA model. You're also going to get the Agency OS system, the same system that we've used to get the 2 Comma Club award over there, which is processing $1 million through one funnel through our agency. And lastly, but certainly not least, we're going to equip you with the knowledge to learn how to land your first client and fulfill on that client. So we're not holding anything back in this course at all. So let's not waste any time whatsoever and dive right in. All right, let's learn how to make money online with the LGA model. So what are we going to cover today in this module? Well, first and foremost, I think it's very important we go over why you should listen to us in the first place. There's a ton of people out there online giving you a bunch of different information. So why are we qualified, and what success have we had in this space that allows us to teach this curriculum? We're going to go through that because that's very, very important. Second, we're going to cover the Agency OS system. Like I described, this is the infrastructure. This is the foundation of our business. And you're going to get this system as a one-click install within Growth School. Second, we're going to go over the entire course curriculum, so everything that you're going to learn in this course. We're going to go over the goals and rewards, some incentives that you guys can do, some action items that you guys can take, and then we're going to go over ways that you can get support. So how can you engage in the community? How can you reach out to us? We're going to cover all these things in the curriculum. So warning. Do not skip this video. This is the most important video. I know you may want to skip around, you might want to jump ahead, but I highly recommend watching this video to completion because it is the most important video in the course. So, pro tip as well, you can watch this on 1.5x speed. I think 2x is a little bit too fast. We start getting into chipmunk territory, but this is something that you can listen to on the go and can really dig through the content quickly by going 1.5x. So let's talk about our mission here. Our mission is to inspire the next wave of entrepreneurs to achieve digital freedom and live life on their own terms. This is something that David and I have been able to do. We left our jobs over 8 years ago. We were in that 9-to-5 grind, commuting an hour each way, taking up realistically a 40-hour work week in a month, just sitting behind the windshield, sitting in traffic. We knew there could be better, but we just didn't quite have the vehicle that could get us there. So that is our mission here, to inspire you to potentially break out of the social norms, do something a little bit different with your life so you can start living on your own terms and build digital freedom. We're also driven to make Growth School the #1 success hub when it comes to agencies on the platform. So we do this by providing great work, support, and getting results. And lastly, we're incentivized to help you win. Your success is going to be our success. So what are you going to get from this course? Well, first and foremost, my promise to you here is that you're going to learn how to start, grow, and scale the most profitable SMMA in existence. This is the LGA model, the lead gen agency model. We're going to dive into exactly why that is, how you can start this. But first and foremost, that's what you're going to learn here in this program. Second, you're going to learn to build your own Agency OS system. We're going to cover that in depth. And then you're going to have the skills to land that first client and actually how to fulfill the services. So we're not holding anything back in this course. So let's get after it. So first off, why should you listen to us? Some guy from the mountains in Colorado yelling at you about social media. Well, we've built and we continue to run to this day a 7-figure SMMA. You can see some screenshots from November. We've got a $10,000 day here in December, and then grossed over 1.6 million in our Stripe account. We've also got other additional invoicing platforms. So this is just a quick social proof snapshot, but really this entire thing, it started with a dream, started with an idea that we could be doing more. I felt like in my day job, I was giving 30% because I was just doing this very segmented role that really didn't impact anyone. I was just helping somebody else make their dreams come true, and I wanted to start investing in myself. So David and I, one of my best friends, known him for many, many years, he was on a similar path. And I'll talk about his story as well, but it just started with us having laptops and work ethic. We didn't have a curriculum like this to guide us through step by step what to do. It was a ton of trial and error. It all started with an idea, a passion to do something differently. So fast forward to today, like I said, we've built a 7-figure SMMA. We focus on the lead gen model with our agency, and we won that 2 Comma Club award behind me, pictured in this screen as well, and that's through processing $1 million through one funnel. This is verified through ClickFunnels, and we actually won our 2nd award for teaching and coaching as well. It's sitting in the box here, so hopefully by the end of this course I might be able to bust that out and put that on the wall, but I'm waiting for David's to show up in the mail as well. But very, very important that this award that is shown in this picture, this is from our agency, and I think that picture is pretty dark, so I'm just going to pull it off the wall so you can literally see this is from our agency, Vital Traffic Labs. I'm wearing all the swag. Hopefully you guys can read that. David and Derek, super proud of this. They don't give these away, so these are earned. This is like the Super Bowl for online entrepreneurs. This has enabled us to do some great things. This is David and I. After we won our 2 Comma Club award, we went to Vegas. We went to UFC 300, arguably one of the greatest cards of all time. Got to see some amazing fights. This is us looking out from our room, kind of celebrating the wins from winning that 2 Comma Club award. There's my business partner, David, with his award. It was an amazing day. All that stuff is great, but what's really important is that we were able to leave the 9-to-5 rat race over 8 years ago. Second, we were able to achieve financial freedom. So things that we were afraid of leaving, like health insurance, 401k, investing in our retirement, all these things that were keeping us locked into our day jobs, we have been able to provide through our own agency and actually contribute much higher than we were from that 3% contribution we were doing back when we were working 9-to-5 corporate jobs. We're maxing that out each year. We're making investments. We're setting ourselves up for success, and it wouldn't be possible without the SMMA and the LGA model. There's no more time off requests, so we're not begging to take a vacation or if we need to take care of our family. These are things that we can do on our own time. And like I said, we're building for our future. We're not sacrificing anything that you normally would think you were leaving by exiting the corporate world and the 9-to-5. All those things are awesome, but what has that enabled us to do? Well, my wife and I, we were able to move to the mountains. I used to live in downtown Minneapolis, which was fine for a while, but I always wanted to get out into nature, live a bit more in the mountains where we could explore. We'll take our Jeep, we'll go hiking, there's mountains, there's rivers. It's just an amazing lifestyle that in order to live out here, you would need to own and operate a business. And I've been able to do that nomadically online. Many people aren't as fortunate to do that. So that's unlocked a lot of great opportunities. This is our Jeep, our camping setup. We've got our burro, our camper. We'll go out, explore. These are things that I just dreamed about when I was living in the cities. But now we've been able to do with our SMMA and our LGA business. This is my sauna in the backyard. I've got the mountains back there. I'm out there in the red light, really recovering from training and exercising. And I like to do cold plunge, cold therapy, exploring the mountains with my 2 pups there. This has also allowed me to open up a gym. So I've been able to open up a gym in town. It's a small mountain town here, and it's like if you don't build it, it doesn't exist. So I do jiu-jitsu. The gym that I was going to had closed down, and it was a great opportunity to open one up ourselves. And I built an amazing community because of that. These people are like family to me. And when you look at the blue zones and people who live the longest, there's health, exercise, diet, but community is such a big part of that. And this has allowed me to do something great in my community, personally push myself by doing competitions, medaling, hitting the podium. All this stuff is something that I'm absolutely passionate about, but it's all unlocked by building a business online at the end of the day. There's some shots of my wife and I and the dogs on top of a 14,000 foot mountain. We just went to Iceland. We went to Europe. So we hit Iceland, Sweden, and Denmark over 2 weeks here in December. So that was a beautiful time. Scuba diving is a big passion of mine as well. So this business has unlocked all of these things for me. I would be stuck in a 9-to-5 taking crumbs from my employer if I was still in that mindset. But being able to break away, have my own online business has changed a ton. And not just for myself, but, for my wife, for my family, for David, for himself. He used to live in Minneapolis and he moved out to Arizona. Minnesota's a cloudy environment, and now he's out there in a beautiful desert mountain area where he's able to run. He's a big kind of ultra runner. That's him and his wife. They love to go camping, do a ton of outdoor stuff as well. That's him winning some awards in Bryce Canyon. But he's been able to purchase a home just like myself through our agency. Some people think, hey, you'll have bad credit because you don't have a consistent paycheck from an employer. We have a consistent paycheck. We get the same amount every 2 weeks, just like you would if you were working a 9-to-5. We also get bonuses on top of that. But those are the things that mortgage companies want to see. If you're trying to buy a home, you can do that with this business model. There's David taking some trips, some shots from Vegas. That was in Cancun. He went on a 2 to 3 week safari this year, which was amazing. You would maybe get fired from your job if you went and did that, but he was able to do that, not worry about the business. The thing kept running because we have good operations, good SOPs. And then here's just some more, things that David's been able to do, which is pretty aspirational. He runs ultra marathons. He's active in the community. And all of this has been built on building a business online at the end of the day. So let's look at the timeline, because it wasn't like this overnight, right? It took a lot for us to get here because we didn't have somebody guiding us step by step through this. So this was me before I even got into the corporate world. I was I didn't come from a big business background. I didn't have entrepreneurs in my family. I was into music. I was recording bands, and this is a shot of me kind of questioning my life, I would say, being pretty broke. David, prior to this, he was working in cybersecurity, and here's him on his feet probably after 10 hours at a conference somewhere in Vegas or in Washington where, he's speaking to techs and engineers about cybersecurity practices. And it just, wasn't something he was really passionate about at the end of the day. He's working for somebody else. I mean, cybersecurity is super interesting, and I know that he's passionate about that, but, just the idea of having to sell a product that somebody else's, you have no equity in, you probably know the feeling, so you can kind of see the look on his face. And we were just a number at the end of the day. We were just a number. We were completely expendable, and it was catching up to us. And then somewhere around 2017, I actually have the dates because the check is coming up on the screen next, but we made the shift to say, all right, we're going to build a business online, and we're going to utilize the skills that we have. We might not have it all figured out, but we're going to do this thing. We incorporated actually December of 2016. And then within 2 weeks, we had a check here, and this is the actual check for $2,400. And that was mind blowing. That's like almost 30 grand a year if they're paying you that each and every month. So that was December 21st. 2016. So right before Christmas, we closed that deal, and that really unlocked it for us. Like, whoa, we can do this. We're in Minnesota. We just started a business. We closed another business in Detroit, Michigan, completely far away from us. We'd never met them. It was through a Zoom conversation over the phone. And this really unlocked the potential of how much we could make in this business. From there, we quit our jobs. We drew a line in the sand. We said June 1st of 2017, we're going to quit and we're going to run this full time. And, we built, I would say, like a traditional SMMA. We are doing a lot of things that, maybe you think you should be doing now, like posting content and building following and building brand for our clients. But it wasn't sustainable. Sure, it was enough to help us quit our jobs and we were making some money, but we just couldn't crack the code to really scale it. And we had to ask ourselves, like, what do we care about? We care about adventure. We care about freedom. We care about, building for our financial future. So we had to make some pivots. And this is really where everything changed for us. We switched to the LGA model, and I'll go over that in other modules here on why that's important. But that's what unlocked all these things. That allowed us to hit the 2 Comma Club award. That allowed us to scale to the 7-figure level with our business, hire people, bring on operations, really blow this thing up. You might be hearing this and think, okay, that's great. I don't really want to run a 7-figure business. The beautiful thing is you don't have to. Like, if you had one client paying you almost $2,500 a month extra, like, what would that do for your life? That's an extra $30,000 a year. Now you do that twice, you're doubling it, 60. Now you're getting to the territory of what somebody makes on average in the US just through 2 clients. So you can see the potential and the possibilities for growth no matter where you're at or how ambitious you are with this model. So quick recap of our track record so far. We are 2-time 2 Comma Club winners for both our agency and our coaching. This is very rare in the space. We work with some of the best of breed startups in the world now at this point. We started with a lot of random businesses and we've really narrowed down our niche to where we're working with some of the most innovative companies on the planet. Our impact, well, we're helping people. We're helping other businesses grow. And an example of that, one of our clients just closed over $3 million through one of the ads that we ran. And that's net new revenue for this year. So we're actually building a business that's helping people at the end of the day. I know sales and making money, it seems like kind of gross if you're just not doing anything that's providing value. Like, this is a big reason why I left my 9-to-5, because I was helping other companies sell, make more money, and the promises were not fulfilled. And I didn't feel good about that. Here we've got the opportunity to help and support businesses in an impactful way. And on top of that, we're building the next generation of entrepreneurs. At this point, we've helped over 1,000 people who have come through the SMMA blueprint, who have come through growth school to start and grow SMMAs or lead generation agencies. And we're the top rated program in the coaching space. A lot of people come to us after being burned. They've tried other things and, we help and support them. We've got hundreds of testimonials. This is all good and great that this has worked for us, but I think it's very important to know that we help a lot of other people as well. And there's a lot of success stories around this. This is just from the last week in growth school. So Nikolai landed his first client. Beck, hey, landed my first client. Kingston booked his first call. Huge. First sale. Like, this takes so much time for people because getting over that hurdle of 0 to 1, like, that's the biggest hurdle you're ever going to make. So the fact that these people are doing this over and over and over in our community is amazing. Just landed a verbal agreement, karate school owner in my local area. This is huge. Different kind of win. I'm able to say that my company is a platinum sponsor of a local junior hockey team. Kurt's making impact in his community up in Canada. Edwin signed another trial client today, 2 clients. And it goes on and on. First client, landed my first client. Today's win, first paying client. Got my first client. First client, let's go. 2 sales calls booked. This, I could just go on and on and on. You can pause this. You can read back to these. These are all from growth school. We also have the SMMA blueprint with tons of testimonials here. And just the list goes on and on of people who are winning $5,000, making $100K a year, hitting my first 10K. Brennan, he was couch surfing, technically homeless, and paid off his credit card debt, $15,000, and then started making $10,000 a month. Johnny, $31K this month. Like, I'm going to whiz through this because we could just spend all day on this stuff. You can go back, but this isn't just theory. This isn't something that we did 5 years ago and now we're going to teach you how to do it now. Like, everything you're going to learn here has been battle tested and is based off of our actual real world experience. So very important that we cover those things in depth because it's important to know who you're learning from at the end of the day. So this course, it's a simple roadmap. You're going to be able to follow click by click. I'm not going to teach you a bunch of theory. I'm actually going to show you how to set up your agency OS, what the best model is, and how to land that first client and actually fulfill it. So what is the agency OS? Let's talk about that at a high level here before we go deeper into it in other modules. Agency OS is really the 3-step process on how we acquire traffic, convert them, and scale within our business. So a lot of this comes down to either outbound or inbound. So you're doing direct outreach to businesses to help them, or you're doing inbound. Clients are coming to you through your own advertising, right? Conversion, we have a 3-step process: discovery, proposal, close. Then we go into our onboarding phase, fulfillment, and scale. So you're going to build this system yourself. And I'm going to show you step by step how to do that. But this is at a high level what this looks like. Course curriculum is going to be this welcome video. It's what you're watching right now, where we go through agency OS, what we're going to learn, goals and rewards, help and support. The next module, we're going to cover the LGA model in detail, what the business is, why it's the most profitable, and the best SMMA that you can make as a beginner with no experience, no money, no network, no following, like all these things. You don't need that. This is the best model, hands down, for beginners. Then we're going to take a deep dive into the agency operating system. I showed you a little bit of that in the last slide, but that's what we're going to build together in this course. Then we're going to tackle one of the biggest questions everybody always asks is, how do I pick the best niche? What is the best niche for me? What is the most profitable? We're going to go over that in detail in Niche Alchemy. Then we're going to show you how to get your first client. I could tell you, yeah, go send 200 messages, but you're not going to be confident in doing so. So I'm going to show you realistically how anybody can get their first client and get some real world experience that's going to be the foundation of this business. Client acquisition, I'm going to show you how we keep the pipeline full so you can have a ton of clients to work with. If one leaves, it's not the end of the world. Pipeline is everything, and we're going to show you all the different ways that you can gain and close clients. And then I'm going to show you how to actually fulfill the services. We have a simple 3-step LGA service that we've been able to scale to the 7-figure level. And by learning these skills, you're not only going to know how to get your first client, have your agency set up, but how to fulfill on those services. Very, very important, something that's glossed over in so many courses. They tell you to, just outsource it to somebody else. You need to learn these skills for a multitude of reasons. It's going to make you a better owner and operator. It's going to make you a lot more money because you're going to be able to sell and actually know what you're talking about. And then you're going to be able to keep all the profits because you will be able to fulfill the first couple clients yourself before you hire people on and scale this up as much as you want. So that's the course curriculum, the LGA model, the agency OS, Niche Alchemy, getting your first client, more ways to get even more clients, and then how to fulfill those services to scale. So that's what we're going to cover. And I think you need to understand the digital landscape or how entrepreneurs have evolved here in the space. And you've probably felt this way where you don't have any money and it's like, how do I start a business? If I don't have any capital, I don't know anybody, how do I do that? Then a lot of people go to, okay, how can I make money fast? What are the easiest business models that I can start with no money, no experience? Then you start to realize, hey, maybe service is going to be the most profitable business model I can operate. And then you really start to unlock scale. So that's kind of the path that most people go through. So let's break this down. So no money, this is how I felt. I didn't have any money. I didn't have any connections. And in order to start a big business, I felt like you needed to invest a ton of money, like starting a restaurant. I had all these business models in my mind, but they could never get off the ground because I needed credit, I needed a loan, I needed money, all these things that I just didn't have when I first started. Needed to know somebody, big audience. These are huge things that hold people back. And then once folks get on to, well, maybe there's a digital way to do this, they immediately think things like drop shipping, Amazon FBA, Shopify, building your own brand. The problem with all these things, they require money. They require things that are outside of your control, like market appetite. How interested are people in that particular product? Is it a fad? Is it going to come and go? I started a drop shipping store. Sure, we sold some watches, but it wasn't scalable. It wasn't anything that we could say, hey, let's quit our jobs over this thing. It got us started, got us in the online world, but we realized, hey, we need a lot of money to really back this up, and we just simply don't have that right now. So you may have ran into that as well if you've tried any of these, make money online quickly type businesses. It's just not sustainable, and it's very, very difficult to actually make money with them as a beginner. Now, the big pivot that you're probably making since you're here is, if I actually help people, if I have a valuable service, that's going to allow me to get money without needing to know anybody. Actually helping people and providing a service is exactly what's going to get you paid. From here, a lot of people get hung up on scalability because they're like, okay, great, I know some skills, I'm making some money, but how do I take it to the next level? How do I scale this? And that's exactly what we're going to cover in this course by going over SOPs, removing yourself, all that good stuff. The goal here is to get your agency OS created and be equipped to get your first client and fulfill on that client. That's our promise to you. That's where we're going to focus on in this video and in this course. Next, you can get your agency roadmap. So for everyone that's made it this far, I don't know how long we're going to be offering this, but if you're watching this right now and I'm saying this and you're hearing this, you can book a free call with us. I'm going to be taking these calls. I'm going to have Kyle also on some of these calls, and we're going to break down a roadmap unique for you and answer some of your questions. So take advantage of this. Book your free call. I'll have some links down below. The agency OS, I've got links down below where you can grab that. And then we also have the activity leaderboard. Now, this is for anyone that's in the paid growth school community. If you're watching this somewhere else, either in Growth Club, if you're watching this on YouTube, some other channels, this is where you can unlock the advanced training that's even further in the program. Get early access to content. We do live weekly calls, Q&A support. We do free coaching and giveaway calls for people who are the most engaged and active. So highly recommend upgrading to Growth School, our paid community. The links are going to be in the description below. But how to get support? How can you get help? Well, the fastest way is ask your question in the group. Sure, you could send me a DM. It's going to get lost most likely, and you're not going to get the full perspective from everybody else in the community. So really leverage this space by asking questions. The people that ask questions, they get the most results. They get over hurdles faster. So highly encourage you to leverage the community. So what's the homework? What's the action items? Number one, dive in, take action, enjoy the ride, enjoy the process. You're going to get a ton of value. Like I said, we're not going to hold anything back. So we want you to stand up your agency, get that first client, know how to fulfill it, all that good stuff. You can start your free 14-day trial of Agency OS by clicking the Agency OS link down below. This is hosted on a platform called High Level. You may have heard of it. It's where you can manage your pipeline, you can build funnels, you can host your own website, you can set up workflows. The whole lifeblood of the business runs on this system. So we've got a 14-day trial just for you guys. So click that link, and then you're going to get everything in our Agency OS system installed into your Go High Level account. And then book your free call. Like I said, it's completely free. Take advantage of this. Get your agency kickstarted and receive your roadmap to get rocking. And then anyone who's not in our paid community, feel free to join Growth School. This is where you can unlock the advanced training, early access to content, weekly calls, Q&A support, coaching, one-on-one, all that good stuff. Highly recommend checking out Growth School. So that's it. I will see you in the next video where we're going to break down the LGA model in detail, and I'll see you over there. Hey, welcome back. In this module, we're going to talk about the most profitable SMMA you can run, why most SMMAs fail because they're far too generic, and what you should be focused on as a beginner or a veteran in this space for profitability. So let's not waste any time and dive right into it. What is the best SMMA you should be running? You've got a ton of ambition, you want to start a business, but you don't want to be running full speed in the wrong direction. So let's talk about what we're going to cover in this video. So first off, this model, it breeds success. We're going to show you exactly how we've done this with our business and how we've seen thousands of students do this as well. I'm going to talk about why most generic SMMAs completely fail. We're also going to talk about why ROI drives decision-making when you're speaking to business owners. Whether you can do this the easy way or the hard way, there's a path that you can take with your SMMA that's going to lead to maybe some quick wins, but a lot of difficulty down the line when you start to scale and grow this business. Or you can just start it the easy way to begin with. Save yourself a ton of headache, a ton of hassle, and I highly recommend watching this video from start to finish. We're going to talk about what clients want at the end of the day. That's what we're going to sell to. And then we're going to cover the LGA model in detail. So warning, do not skip this video. Do not skip ahead or skip through this video. I would say if you want to move quickly, watch it at 1.5x so you can work through the content fast. But at the time of recording this, this is the most important video that you can be watching. So don't skip around, don't fast forward. And so let's break it down. So this model changed everything for us. It's the reason why I was able to purchase my home. David's able to purchase his home. It's the reason why we were able to win the 2 Comma Club Award. We weren't able to really scale our SMMA. We got some quick wins, but we weren't able to scale it to the next level until we unlocked this LGA model. And we've been doing this for 8 years now at this point, successfully running this SMMA for 8 years. And we do not deliver generic SMMA services. We don't do any kind of content creation for our clients. Most of us, when we get into this space, we've heard that you should be posting, you should be building following, these kind of things. We don't do any of that for our clients. No brand building, no social media management. We're not responding to comments, things like that. But what we do is we provide simple services that drive results. Very, very simple. It's a 3-step process actually, and it's beginner friendly. So you don't have to be an advanced marketer or a veteran in this space to really nail this model. It's something I recommend most beginners start with because it's the easiest to fulfill. It's the easiest to scale. And what we'll talk about later in this video, it's the easiest to sell because it's actually what business owners care about at the end of the day. So why do most generic social media marketing agencies fail? Well, they churn clients like crazy for one reason and one reason alone: a lack of return on investment, or what I would say attribution to show a return on investment. So if I'm paying a social media marketing agency $1,000 a month to maybe be posting some content, posting reels, pictures, stories, whatever, at the end of the day, it's very difficult for me as a business owner to tie that work to closed revenue and new business for my company. So this is a big reason why a lot of generic SMMAs will churn clients fast. So likes, followers, views on a post, these are extremely difficult to have any kind of attribution for. And like I mentioned, this is a huge problem. Because if you're working with a client, they're going to want to see ROI, and they're going to want to see that the work that you're doing is attributing to moving the needle for their company. If you don't do this, businesses will look at you as an expense rather than an investment. We want our clients to be thinking about us as an investment for the future, an investment for their brand, their company, not an expense, not something that's just going to be bleeding cash at the end of the day. So why does ROI drive decisions? Well, most people that come to us for coaching, either our courses, our community, they're usually in one of two places. Either they're just starting out, which is actually perfect. You don't have any bad habits. We don't have to course correct at this point. Or they've been providing general SMMA or social media management services, and they're just spinning their wheels at this point. They're losing clients. And they come to us like, hey, I thought I was doing the right thing. I thought this was the business model, but it's not working. And what happens to those people is they work with clients for a couple months, and then the clients think, I could just do this myself. Why don't I just start posting? I could save myself a few $1,000s a month, not pay this person at all, and just do this stuff myself because I'm not seeing more money come into my business because of it. So the key question you need to ask yourself, if you are providing a general social media management company or SMMA, is, are you solving a measurable problem? If you're not solving a measurable problem, it's going to be very difficult to show the client any kind of return on investment. Sure, you could measure likes and views, but at the end of the day, this happens over and over and over. Clients want to know, is this making more money? Should I scale this? Should I pause this? These are the questions your clients are going to be asking themselves. And if you can't measure what you're doing, you can't scale your offer. But the fact that you're here in the first place means that you're in a great position. You're most likely either just starting or you've realized I need to make a pivot and layer on the LGA model to what I'm doing today. Unfortunately, we learned this lesson the hard way. We didn't know that when we first started. We took a lot of these gurus for face value and we thought we could just help businesses on social media and collect thousands of dollars per month. But it wasn't that simple. I would describe where we were at is in this yes phase. So we were doing a ton of different services for clients like content creation, posting, SEO. We were doing video shoots, flying drones around their facility, building web pages, design. We even created a physical sign outside of the storefront of one of our businesses that we were working with. Needless to say, this really was not scalable. This wasn't sustainable. We couldn't measure what we were doing. So after several months of working with a client, it was like, hey, thanks, you got us in a great spot. We've got a website now, we've got some content, we've got some customers coming in, but I think we got this now. I think we can handle the social media and just pause our engagement. And we kept hitting that wall. We would do some great work. We were saying yes to everything. We thought we were doing the right things, but at the end of the day, we were doing the completely wrong things. And this is what led us to a key realization. We knew we needed to focus on what our clients actually cared about, which 100% led us to the lead generation model, or the LGA. And the big difference here is we started providing a system and not just a particular point solution that clients could turn off or on. So if you're just the Facebook ads person, you're the content creator, the creative, or a community manager, you need to realize that you're expendable at the end of the day. And the pivot that you can make is understand that every company in the world, they struggle with sales and marketing. It's almost like the Spider-Man meme where all the Spider-Mans are pointing at each other. It's just like that with sales and marketing. Sales says, hey, the leads aren't good enough. Marketing's terrible. And then marketing's like, hey, these sales guys are lazy. These leads are great, but they're just not closing them. If you can bridge a system together that is going to essentially fulfill both of these segments at most companies, you are going to be able to charge a ton of money, because this is a problem, and a measurable problem, that almost every company in the world struggles with. So with the LGA model, we're not only attracting their ideal customers, but we're also taking it to the next level and helping them convert them. This is how we're showing direct attribution towards money in the door and why they keep paying us month after month. Like I said, quite often these functions are segmented, they're pointing at each other, both marketing and sales, and this LGA model bridges those together. It's a simple system and solution that bridges that gap. And there was even a point where we weren't doing these two together. We were just driving more ideal customers to them and hoping that our clients would end up converting those opportunities. And a key realization that we had is if we take out the chance of our clients fumbling, take the results completely out of their hands, we'll be able to take full ownership of the whole process, or the return on investment, and keep the clients longer, get them better results, and ultimately charge them more each and every month. So what exactly is the LGA model? This is a diagram that really breaks down the process at a high level. So I talked about earlier the agency OS system, and it may have looked similar to this, but this is the LGA model in a nutshell. So what we do is we'll drive inbound traffic. So this could be from Instagram, Meta, LinkedIn, TikTok, social media ads, and they're going to go to simple lead capture forms to capture the information, and then they'll go through a process of getting delivered an asset, going through a thank you page, automation follow-ups, SMS or email, and then ultimately converting them into an opportunity for our clients. So if John Doe comes in from Instagram, goes to our capture form, submits his information, gets followed up with, and then shows up on the calendar for our clients, that's a direct line of attribution if John ends up buying the product or service of our client. Versus if John just randomly liked or watched an Instagram video and took zero action, because that's what's happening to most generic SMMAs. They're getting top of funnel viewership, but there's no clear model to convert them at the end of the day. We also do what we call intent-based ads. So this could be Google, this could be YouTube. Someone actively searching for our client's product and solution, and exactly how we capture them through social media, we funnel them through this conversion and automation process. Very, very simple. At its high level, we've got traffic, we convert that traffic, and then we automate it to convert on our client's calendar. So what does this look like in real life? Well, here's an example of simple meta ad to get a quote. Somebody would see this ad, they would click on it. It would then go to a lead capture form. Something like this. They simply input their name, email, and phone number, and then a couple qualifying questions to see if they're a good lead. And then from there, we just send them through our automation process. So they get a follow-up email saying, hey, thanks for requesting the roof estimate. If you're really trying to get help immediately, click this link below. And I just have an example of like a email for growth school, but this would be a nurture and conversion campaign for the roofing company. So in a 3-step process, hit them with an ad, we've captured their information, and then we nurture and convert those leads onto the calendar for our clients. And this is what they want at the end of the day. They want results. They don't want vanity metrics like likes, followers, more views on a video. They want results. And if we're able to put eager buyers of their product or service on their calendar, they're going to pay for that. That is extremely valuable for business owners. They need more leads, they need more top of funnel, and they need people who actually want to work with them. And when we were struggling to find out what the model was that could really scale over time, we assessed what our clients actually cared about at the end of the day. And it wasn't more likes, it wasn't more posts, it was qualified leads that got them excited. So when we would jump on a weekly update call, they'd say things to us like, did you see that lead come through? Did you see that person opt in? They looked perfect. Like, this is what they were getting fired up about. They weren't saying, hey, that's great that we got 10 likes on this page. They were pumped when somebody wanted to work with them because that is potential revenue for their company. And so this was the moment that we decided we're going to go all in on the LGA model. This is what our clients care about. It's much easier to fulfill on than creating a content calendar and posting and doing all the legwork of building up their social media just for them to leave us. Let's just do this simple 3-step process that they love and are going to pay us much more than just being a social media manager. And this is really where we made this move. I talked about this timeline in the last video. It was right here, 2018, 2019, where we made that pivot that really unlocked scalability. David and I, we kept hitting walls with how much we could bring into the business. Like, we could close clients like crazy, but keeping them was a big problem. Retaining our clients was the thing that was holding us back. And when we pivoted to the LGA model, we realized that we could charge a lot more, we could keep these clients longer, and then when we built up our pipeline each and every month of new clients, they stayed. So our business grew. And then that's when things got really fun. Similar to this time frame, we also had an honest conversation with ourselves and said, how do we want our lives to look? Do we want to be driving across the city, shooting content, at these different businesses, or do we want to live a more nomadic, location independent lifestyle where I could work from anywhere? I moved out to the mountains where the elevation here is like 10 times what the population is. So I'm not plugged into some major metropolitan area where I'm rubbing elbows with a bunch of entrepreneurs. I'm in the middle of nowhere, and I can still run this business at the 7-figure level successfully with the LGA model. So that's what we really wanted at the end of the day. That's why we started this business. We didn't start it to be spinning our wheels. We didn't start it to be making less than we were in our day jobs because we couldn't scale. Like, we wanted to blow this thing up. We wanted to be location independent, and this was our ticket. This was our ticket to do this. So just to break this down again, the LGA model is the lead generation agency model. So you're doing inbound traffic, a simple ad to a landing page, and a conversion and optimization process on the back end. That is it. If you contrast this to like e-commerce or other models where you really need to convert and have somebody swipe their credit card, this web of ads gets much more complicated. You've got to get in front of people 10, 11, 12 different times, a bunch of retargeting ads, one-time offer, order bumps, and the whole process gets very, very complicated. And again, you're spending way too much time per client. With the lead generation model, you get an intent-based ad on Google, killing it. You don't touch that thing. You let it keep going, and it's going to keep providing results for your clients over and over and over. Same with these social media ads. You can be getting images from them. You can be creating things on Canva, like very simple creative work that's going to last. You're not going to be posting something every single day. You're going to be creating a campaign that actually moves the needle for their business and continues to do so while you sleep, while you're not working on it. Because the lead generation model and running ads for leads, like if you're in there making changes every day, you're causing problems. So these ads, once they're optimized, you kind of just set it and forget it. Like, you go in, refresh the creative once in a while, but in the big, it's a much simpler business model than posting a bunch of content or working with e-commerce clients. Like, we just want clients that value leads, and we'll give them this 3-step process, and it works for 90% of businesses out there. This is the key to scale, the LGA model. So some action items for you. I would say simplify your business right out of the gate. Don't complicate this with trying to offer every single service known to man in the SMMA sphere. Don't dabble in unscalable models like we did. Start it off right, and you'll be able to scale for the future. Second, click the link down below if you want your agency OS system. We're going to go over that in the next video. Again, this is hosted on Go High Level, so this will be the lifeblood of your agency, your website, your pipeline. All the conversion and optimization pieces that I mentioned is set up in Go High Level, so highly recommend setting this up. Click the link down below for your free trial, and you can get started right away. And then if you made it this far, book your free call. If you're seeing this at this point, we're still offering onboarding calls, which is going to give you a roadmap to start your agency. We'll answer a few questions just so you're feeling good and moving in the right direction. So take advantage of that. I'm going to be taking some of these calls. Kyle's going to be taking some of these calls, and it's completely free. And lastly, if you're not in Growth School already and you're watching this either on YouTube, another channel, our free community, I highly recommend joining Growth School. This is where you can unlock our advanced training. You can get access to early content releases, live calls every Thursday, daily Q&A support. We do giveaways, coaching calls. It's really where people are engaged and pushing each other. So I highly recommend upgrading to Growth School. So check out all those resources down below, and I'll see you in the next video where we'll cover the agency OS system, the operating system of your business. I'll see you over there. Let's set up the agency OS system. This is the digital infrastructure for your business, the minimum you want to have set up before going to market. We're going to set this up in one click, but first I'm going to break down exactly what it is and why you need it. Let's dive in. So let's break down the agency OS system, how you can get it in one click. What are we covering today? Well, the agency OS. This is the operating system of our agency. We're also going to break down the cost comparison, so the difference between piecing this system together tool by tool or just having one unified system. We're going to actually give you a template for your own agency website. This is going to validate yourself in the marketplace by having a simple page. So if you have conversations with clients, they look you up on Google, you show up. Next, we're going to break down the agency pipeline. So this is how you manage new clients coming into your agency, conversations, leads. That's all managed and organized. Otherwise, it's going to be a total mess. Then we're going to give you the fulfillment funnel, so a one-click install to fulfill services on your very first client. So I'm going to show you in later modules how to fulfill on that first client. You're going to need a funnel. You're going to need a website to fulfill those services. Next, we're going to break down the reporting suite. So this is how we keep clients up to date on how the campaigns are going, the progress that we're making, and the ROI, or the return on investment. So it's in a nice, clean dashboard that they can view. They know that we're working hard towards their goals, and they're not left in the dark at any point in time. And lastly, we're going to talk about the roadmap. So this is going to be your learning path throughout the rest of the training. So this is a very important video. Let's dive in. As always, this right here, like I just said, is the most important video in the entire course. So watch this entire video from start to finish. You can go at 1.5x speed if you want to get through it faster, but don't skip this video and go on to later modules. We looked at this graphic. We've got traffic, conversion, and scale. So outbound, inbound, discovery calls, proposals, so your pipeline, onboarding clients, fulfillment, and then ultimately scaling. So how do we put this together in one simple tool, or the infrastructure for your agency? Well, the agency OS system is really the bedrock of your agency. These are the tools that you're going to use to fulfill on services, take payment, automate fulfillment, and scale your company. So this is exactly what we use to run and scale SMMAs or LGAs, and it's all hosted on a tool called Go High Level. But it wasn't always this way. We used to use a ton of different options, and it was kind of this hodgepodge solution of different tools. But the agency OS system, it's simple, it's cheaper, and it works better. And I want you guys to realize that systems equal scalability. So once we implemented these systems, we effectively doubled the size of our agency because we weren't going back to the drawing board every single time we brought on a new client. It was a very simple process. We had procedures that kicked off, and we were able to double in revenue. And a quote that really stands out to me from a book, Atomic Habits, is, "You do not rise to the level of your goals. You fail to the level of your systems." And this is from James Clear out of his book that we talk about quite often, Atomic Habits. And this is so true. You can have this goal in your mind. Hey, I want to hit 10K a month. I want to hit 100K a month. But you're not going to rise to those goals. You're going to fail to the systems that you have in place. So you can dream about these numbers, but if you don't have a system that can back it up, you're never going to hit these goals. So let's make sure you have a system in place that you can fail to those opportunities and to those goals that you're trying to hit. And this is how the other seven-figure agencies are doing it. This is how we're doing it. This is how we've seen countless agencies come through our program and scale as well. And if I look at the landscape of other agencies out there, this is what they're doing. They're not reinventing the wheel every time they bring on a new client. They have a clear system and a process and operations, or otherwise known as SOPs, standard operating procedures, within their company so they can grow and scale. And it also frees you up to not be the only person working in the business, and you can work on the business and really focus on more revenue generating tasks. So this is how you become an owner operator rather than a freelancer who's just winging it through each client. So here's all the tools that we used to need in the past to fulfill on the LGA model. Number one, we needed a CRM. So that would be like HubSpot, Salesforce, Pipedrive. This is how we manage the conversations that we were having with clients and onboarding them through our system. This was an expensive tool that standalone can cost hundreds, if not thousands of dollars per year. Email marketing software. So these are things like MailChimp, ActiveCampaign, so you can follow up with the leads that we're fulfilling on within our agency. We also needed standalone landing page builders, so like ClickFunnels, lead pages, and they were clunky at the time and expensive. Every single client needed a ClickFunnels account, which is over $100 a month. So every time we brought on a client, we had to factor in, hey, we're going to have to at least pay $100 a month per client. And then also MailChimp, the tools that we're using like HubSpot, like you can see how this is starting to add up. Appointment scheduling, so Calendly, Chili Piper, another added cost. If we wanted to automate the leads that we were generating, we needed tools like Twilio to do SMS, call tracking, and follow up with the leads automatically. We also needed Zapier if we wanted to notify our client, hey, a new lead came in. We needed a tool in order to do that. Without this, we were manually notifying our client every time something good happened. And you can imagine how difficult that is if you start to duplicate this process over many, many clients. We also needed reporting dashboards, and this was on Sweeto. So this would give you a breakdown of how much you were spending, how many clicks you were getting, how many leads, and really the return on investment of your strategy. So you needed another tool for that. So conversation bots like ManyChat, another thing that we needed to add into the suite. So you can tell that adding up all these tools and systems, A, is a lot for somebody as a beginner to take on financially. And B, all of these tools are going to break into your profits. They're going to knock you down from a profitability standpoint. And if you go on Go High Level site, you can see they tally this up and they have a price of about $7,000 per month, but that's with their white labeling service. But if you just factor in all these different tools on a monthly basis, like minimum, these individual costs are going to be around $800 plus per month. And that's starting bare bones, getting out of the gate, $800 a month. That's a lot. And if you scale your agency and you have a lot of clients on board, now you're looking at like $1,300 a month. I don't know about you, but I got into this business model to have it cheap, low overhead, so I could have a lot of profitability and make money in this space. And doing it this way doesn't make sense. So what's the total monthly cost of using Agency OS on Go High Level? Well, you can start off with a free trial. So we've got a link down below. You'll get 14 days, plus you'll get the Agency OS system. But once you get past that trial, it's only $99 a month. And every client that you bring on, it's not like you have to pay another $99 a month and another like you used to with these past tools. It's just $99 a month. So you can have 2-3 clients on board and just be paying $99 a month. An amazing deal. And so this is the starting point. And I know what you're thinking. You're probably like, hey, once I get into the tool and start scaling my business, is it really going to stay that price? Because tools like HubSpot and, they give you this introductory price, but then it just scales up over time. The max that you're going to pay on Go High Level is $297 a month. So you can have 20, 30, 40 clients and be paying $297. It's not going to go up any more than that. I don't know about you, but this is incredibly cheap to be running and operating a business. $99 a month, not a bad deal. So you're saving a minimum of 700+% by not breaking this into a bunch of different random tools and just having this in a unified system. So this is why we consolidated everything. We were bleeding costs. We were dealing with the headache of managing all these subscriptions, and we just wanted to have one hub that we could run our entire business off of. All right, so before we break down the full Agency OS system, if you want to simplify everything and get up to speed and scale, you can have a 14-day free trial of the Agency OS system hosted on Go High Level just by clicking this link here. I'll also have it in the description of this video. But why would you use this link? Why wouldn't you just go to Go High Level site and not go through our affiliate and just buy it yourself? Well, first and foremost, you're going to get the agency website template. So this is going to validate yourself in the marketplace by having a simple one-click install to getting your website created. So we've already built that out for you. Second, you're going to have your agency pipeline. This is how you manage all the conversations, all the new clients coming in through your agency so you can onboard those clients and fulfill on those clients. Next, we're going to give you the fulfillment funnel. So I'm going to have an in-depth training in this course on how to actually fulfill services on your first client, and we'll give you a one-click install to fulfill those services with a lead page that's already built out with the forms and everything. And also, you'll get a reporting suite, automations around that. This is how you keep clients up to date on the data and what you're doing. So if you just go to the site, Go high level, sign up for a 14-day trial. You're not going to get all these things. If you click this link, it's going to actually be installed in your Go High Level account automatically. So grab this link down below in this video and let's dive into this tool. Okay, so if you've already started your 14-day trial through our link, it will look like this. You'll have this reporting dashboard. You'll have your templates in here, like your funnel, your website template, and then you'll also have your full pipeline and opportunities built out as well. But if you haven't done that yet, I'll pull up an incognito window so you know what this looks like after clicking the link. So after you click this link, it'll bring you to a page like this. You'll simply claim your 14-day free trial. This is going to have you fill out some information like your name, email, phone number. Next, you'll go through another questionnaire for the trial details, and then it'll bring you to a page like this. So once this loads, it'll say, do you want to import this snapshot into your account? So you'll click yes, import now, and this will give you the Agency OS system in your trial account. So I've got some sample data in here. Once you've imported this into your account, you can see this is how you would manage your clients. You could show them, hey, here's how many clicks we're getting. Here's the conversions, the impressions, what's the return on investment and the attribution here. So we've also got Google Ads as well. You've got a full report there. So this is very important when you're describing, hey, how am I performing? How are these ads doing? You want to have a dashboard that shows them that. And so let's talk about some of the minimum things that you want to have set up for your agency. Well, you're going to want to have a website. Now, until you start running paid ads for your own company and your own agency, the website isn't this conversion mechanism, but what it is it's a validator. So say you have a conversation with a business owner and things are going great, they need to think about it, they need to talk to other partners, what have you, and they jump onto Google and you don't exist. You don't have a website that's not even searchable or crawlable on Google. That's going to be a red flag. So we want to eliminate these red flags so you can close more business. And this is also going to give you confidence because now it's real. Now it's tangible. If I just told you, yeah, go contact 500 business owners tomorrow, you would have a lot of imposter syndrome, a lot of resistance. These are things that we're going to talk about how to get over later in this course. But having this simple step of your own official website is going to make it real. It's going to make you start to believe in this as well. So very, very important that we set up our website. So just simply click this link and this is going to bring you to the funnel page. This is what it's going to look like as you build out funnels. You don't have to pay for another system to be hosting your website. You can just do it all here on Go High Level, which is fantastic. So just simply click edit. And this is going to pull up the snapshot for your website. So there's a one-click install template. You can change the colors, you can change the logo, whatever your slogan is for your company, you can add this here. But this is going to give you a contact form. It's going to have some social proof, describe some of the services that you provide, and a very simple one-pager. You can make it more complicated and we'll show you more funnel building steps here later in this course, but this is going to give you something that you can publish and have a real functioning website. Now you may be thinking, well, what do I name my agency? Well, I'm going to break that down in further modules as well, but our philosophy with naming your website is not to do it on a specific niche because right now you're just starting out. You haven't watched the niche videos yet. You're not really sure which one you're going to pick. So naming your agency with a particular niche in the name can be very limiting. You're basically pigeonholing yourself into a space that you're not really sure you're ready to work with. So we recommend having a more general marketing name that you can flex into various different niches. Like think about the biggest companies in the world, like Walmart, Amazon, Nike. Like they don't necessarily mean anything. They don't have like a niche within their name, but you recognize them because of what they've done, because of their brand. So just because your agency name doesn't have a niche in there, that's actually a good thing. We do not want that in your website or in your name right now at this point in time. So keep it general, and that's going to allow you to scale and flex into different niches. So this is all like very drag and drop, simple stuff to operate. You don't need to be a coding expert or anything like that. You can simply, like if I was going to put my company in here, Vital Traffic Labs, and then I could say VTL as a core focus in working in so we work in like the tech industry now. Using our proven methods, we deliver impeccable results. and business growth for our clients. Ready to learn more? Boom. Click this button. It'll pull up a form. You could drop your logo in here just by simply going and updating and adding this in. Once you have this all customized, you'll just click domain, and this will actually connect your domain to the website so it's live on the internet. And in later modules, I'll show you how to create a domain and all that good stuff. But for right now, I just want to make sure you know how to get the template, you know how to use it, why it's important, and how to customize it a little bit. So you could just add your domain right here, but I'm going to leave this blank for right now. So if I go back, we've also got our fulfillment template that we're going to look at in later modules, but I'm going to go over to the opportunities tab. Now, this is your pipeline. So say you have a conversation with a lead. You would want to put their name, so John Doe. You could put in their email, jd@gmail.com, put in their phone number, and then you could name this opportunity. So say this was a gym that I contacted. Let's say it's a CrossFit gym. Now I would add this to my sales pipeline. The stage, let's say I just cold called them. I sent them an email, I sent them a DM, and they wanted to speak next Tuesday. I would then move the stage to appointment scheduled. The status is going to be open. If my agency charges a minimum of $1,500 a month, I would then add in that opportunity value. You can tag this as you get more complex, but the primary contact name, let's just go ahead and select this and hit create. So now you can see that we have an opportunity in our pipeline. And this may seem boring right now, but as you start to have conversations, this is incredibly exciting to see your business starting to grow and be able to look at the pipeline at a high level. Because if you're not managing your pipeline, you don't know the opportunities coming into your agency, you have no clue what you're going to be making each month, next quarter, next year. But having this clearly articulated into these different stages, which are the same stages that we use for our agency, is very important for scale. And it's exciting as you start to stack these things up. So let's add a few more opportunities here. So let's say this will be JDoe, create a new contact, jj@gmail.com. I'm going to put this as a proposal sent. So say we already had a conversation. We've sent them our proposal for about $2,500, and then I can go ahead and create this opportunity. We'll update it, and now it's been successfully added to our pipeline. So now say it's next Tuesday and I have a conversation with John Doe. Well, now I can start to move that forward. We had a proposal, we gave him some pricing, let's move him to the next stage. Let's say JDoe, for whatever reason, that opportunity didn't work out, so I would move them to close lost. And then it starts to tally up your opportunities. You can move them through the pipeline. Let's say we close this deal. Now we can see, all right, I've got a couple opportunities here, somebody that I closed, somebody that I lost. And then in your dashboard, you'll start to see this data build up over time and see, okay, how many appointments am I scheduling? How many proposals have gone out? How many people have signed up? This is how you start to operate your business. So right now I've got a $4,000 revenue potential with my business, and you can see this start to stack every time. We used to do this on spreadsheets and pieces of paper, and we get all fired up about this, tallying it up, but it's very motivating to wake up in the morning, like typically for our agency on Monday morning. We look at our dashboard, we look at the opportunities we have in play, and then we go and follow up with those. And that's where the magic happens. That's where you start to close deals. So having a system and a pipeline is so, so important. And not a lot of agency owners talk about this, but this is the lifeblood. This is what's going to keep your business running every single day, every single week for years and years to come. So in later modules, we're going to go deeper into things like the pipeline, the funnels, etc. But right now I want to lay out the roadmap here. So what are you going to be learning throughout the rest of this course? Well, we talked about the LGA model, how it's the most profitable SMMA you can start, especially as a beginner. We just went over the agency OS system, so how to install this with one click into your Go High Level account. This is the digital infrastructure of your business. You don't have to have all these dispersed tools, and you can have one unified system so you can scale. So remember, if you want to scale, You need to have systems, standard operating procedures, SOPs. Without this, you're just floundering. You've got a lot of guesswork and you're not sure where you're going to get your next deal. Next in the course, we're going to talk about the biggest question most agency owners face, and you probably have this question as well, is, what niche should I pick? What's going to be the most profitable? What's going to be the easiest to work with? What fits into the LGA model? What works best for beginners? What's going to work best for me? These are all questions you probably have in your head, and we're going to break down all of that in a later module. We're then going to show you how to land your very first client. So regardless if you have no experience, no case studies, no past clients, no network, how do you close that first deal? We're going to break that down. Then we're going to show you all the different ways that you can be getting clients for your business. So how do we fill up that pipeline that we just showed you? It's exciting as those deals start to stack up, but how do we do that? What are the methods that we use to do this? We're going to break that down. Fulfilling services. I do a full A to Z training on how to fulfill services for that very first client. So setting up the accounts, running the ad, targeting, the whole 9 yards. How do you position that? Everything is covered in the Fulfilling Services module. And then lastly, we'll talk about the Ascension Path to really take things to the next step with your agency. So a couple quick action items before we wrap up. Start your 14-day trial for the Agency OS system. This is going to be hosted on Go High Level. So if you use our link right here or in the description, you'll get all those tools, you'll get all those templates included. If you don't use that, you won't have it, but you'll still have a Go High Level account and you'll have to build this from scratch. So save yourself some time, grab that affiliate link, and then you'll get the Agency OS system. And then book your free call. So if you're in Growth Club, you can get a complimentary call with your agency to get that started. We'll do a roadmap of what the learning path looks like for you, the next steps you need to focus on, and make sure that you're having success in our program. And then if you haven't already, if you're watching this on YouTube or our free community, I highly recommend checking out Growth School. So for anyone that's not in the paid community, this is where we unlock all the advanced training that we have. You get early access to content, weekly live Q&A, support from myself, David, coaches, and also a thriving community of agency owners who are hustling. They're on the same page as you and are active, engaged to push you. So highly recommend checking out Growth School. So if you've got your Agency OS system installed, you've signed up, congratulations. This is a huge step in legitimizing your agency. And in the next module, we're going to talk about how to pick a niche, the biggest question in the business. I'll see you in the next video. Let's answer the biggest question in SMMA. If you've done any kind of research whatsoever in this space, you've probably heard a lot of people telling you to pick a niche. Well, I'm gonna break down the heuristic rule sets of what makes a great niche and how to pick the right niche for you specifically. So let's not waste any time and let's dive right into it. All right, let's start off right by picking the right niche for you. So what are we going to cover in this video today? Well, first off, we're going to talk about the 3 pillars of highly profitable niches. We're going to break down the 3 rules that you can apply to any niche. So if you're asking yourself, is this the right niche? Is this the right niche I should be working in? You will be able to answer that question by the end of this video. We're also going to talk about niches that you should avoid, especially niches as a beginner that are going to be very, very challenging for you to fulfill, scale, and close. And then we're also going to give you the secret sauce to scalability. This is how you're going to take things to the next level. So, warning, as always, do not skip this video. Do not skip ahead. Do not skip through it. Watch the entire thing. It is the most important video in this course. Now, if you want to move forward quickly, I would recommend 1.5x speed on this video. You can hit the play bar down below, adjust the speed, and that's going to allow you to get through this fast. So, what are the 3 pillars of a highly profitable niche? And where does this fit into the process? We looked at the Agency OS system at the high level, and really, if we get the niche wrong, none of this matters. Like, our traffic isn't going to work correctly, we're not going to be able to convert, and we're not going to be able to scale. So overall, if we're hitting the wrong niche, we're not going to be successful in this space. So that's why this video is so important. So pillar number 1, let's talk about this. And before I give you the first rule, I think it's really important to understand some of the misinformation that maybe you're hearing online. I think a lot of people will tell you to just pick one niche immediately, and you don't really know what you're doing yet. You're new to this space. You haven't established a lot of credibility in any particular vertical. So it's going to be very challenging for you as a new entrepreneur to just pick that perfect niche immediately. I'm going to give you some rules. I'm going to give you a lot of ideas for different niches, but at the end of the day, I want you to start off very opportunistic, right? When David and I started this business, we didn't just pick one niche and it was perfect and the rest was history and we sailed off into the sunset with a 7-figure business. That's not how it worked. What we did was said, okay, we're not sure what our niche is going to be yet, so let's pick 2. I'm going to pick 2 niches this week. I'm going to work them for the next couple weeks, and if it doesn't work out, I'm going to swap one. So I want you to relieve some of the pressure that maybe you're feeling right now to pick the perfect niche. It's okay to dabble in a couple different niches because scaling from 0 to 6 figures, you can be working with wildly different niches. That's completely appropriate and that's completely fine. Now, for you to scale from 6 figures to 7 figures, that's where you want to have a niche dialed in so you have a repeatable process and you can really scale this thing to the moon. But I think it's doing you a disservice if you're hearing these other creators and they're telling you, hey, you have to pick a niche immediately before you've ever even worked with a client, I think is very, very silly. So let's not let that hold us back. I'm going to give you some rule sets so you can apply it to any niche that you're thinking about, but it's okay if you don't have the niche figured out yet. That's normal. You should be very opportunistic. I don't care if you work with a barbershop, a pet walking facility, or you work with a high financial services company, like, doesn't matter. You're just trying to get experience at this point. So I just want to break that down before we dive into each pillars so you understand that. Now, what is the first rule that you want to apply to your business? Well, first off, we want to go after niches that value leads. So what does that mean? That's calls to the businesses. That's contact forms that people are filling out. This is very, very important. This is what's going to serve the LGA model at the end of the day. And if we miss this out of the gate, we're going to struggle to really be successful in the LGA space. So I don't want you to go after businesses where they're expecting sales, like e-commerce. They're going to expect, if somebody clicks on the ad and they go to the website, they're going to pull out their credit card and buy something. That's a very complex marketing strategy, and it's not incredibly scalable as a beginner. So I just want somebody who can pick up the phone, who wants to fill out a contact form, businesses that value that. Okay. Now, how does this fit into the LGA model? We are driving leads like we talked about. So inbound traffic coming from social, from intent ads. We want folks raising their hand, filling out a contact form, calling the business that we can then convert and scale. So the niche, in order to be successful in this space, businesses need to value leads. Again, how does the LGA model work? It's a simple ad to a lead capture form that we then convert through SMS and email. Very, very simple. Now, what is the downside of missing pillar 1? Well, first off, businesses, they won't be equipped to take action on your work, and you'll need to do a lot more than just run these ads. We call this scope creep in the business. So these are unscalable clients. If they can't handle leads coming in and they can't nurture those opportunities into sales, it's not going to be a good niche for you. Now, if they can't take action on these leads, this means we need to build a very complex marketing funnel that's going to get people to self-serve and check out automatically online. And that's going to take a ton of time. You're going to need a lot more experience. The 3-step process isn't going to work for them, and it's going to take more resources, aka more money and more profit. So we want a profitable niche. We need to be working with businesses that value leads. Pillar number 2. So businesses, they need to be high ticket that we're working with. We don't want to be working with low ticket clients that are not going to be able to justify the ROI to pay us at the end of the day. So what is high ticket? I would say minimum LTV or lifetime value of $1,000, $1,500. Ideally, it's even higher than that. So if you get one lead that converts in a month, that's going to at least pay for your retainer and then some. Now, you may be thinking, well, what about lower ticket or mid ticket clients, maybe like a gym or something like that? If it's $100 a month membership, that's only $100 if I get it right one time per month. That's not exactly true. If you look at the LTV or the lifetime value of that client, that $100 per month membership, if they stay with the business for 12 months, now that's $1,200. Now we're getting into more of a high ticket range. And if most of the people that sign up for the gym stay for a few years, that's even higher. So I would say that's more mid to low ticket. Higher ticket would be like a service or a home service based company where a roof is $10,000 or something like that. That's going to more than pay for your retainer, the ad spend, and keep them working with you every single month. You also need to think about profit. So just because the product or service is $5,000, that doesn't necessarily mean the take home at the end of the day is $5,000. For example, this is why we don't have people work in e-commerce right away, because if you're working for like a streetwear brand, if they're selling hoodies and things like that for $50, $60, that's not really what they're taking home at the end of the day. You think about manufacturing costs, shipping, the ad spend to get them there, the branding, the multiple retargeting times you need to hit somebody in order to get them to check out at the end of the day. Now our profits just went from $70 to $20, $15, $10. Now your ads need to be perfect in order to convert and have a return on investment there. So if we're working with simple companies that value leads, they have a high ticket offer, this is going to be very easy for us to fulfill as beginners. And it's also going to make it easy to show a return on investment versus lower ticket e-commerce style niches. Very difficult. You've got to get it right hundreds of times per month. Your ads need to be perfect. It's very, very difficult to scale. So again, let's talk about the downsides here. What if we miss the mark? ROI, like we said, is very difficult to justify. If it's a small or a lower ticket product, it's going to be very difficult to say, yep, it's worth paying me thousands of dollars. It's worth investing thousands of dollars in ads. And it's just not worth the business's time at the end of the day. This means you'll have to command lower retainer fees. You're going to have to come in much lower to make the return on investment make sense. And you're going to lack the capital to scale. Since your retainers are lower, you're not going to be able to hire people. You're not going to be able to scale this. And it might just be a hobby or a side hustle for you at the end of the day. So let's talk about rule number 3. There needs to be enough of these businesses to scale. It can't be such an obscure niche that you can't eventually repeat this process and build systems around it. So how much is enough at the end of the day? I would say minimum 1,500 to 5,000 of these businesses nationwide or in your country. Obviously, if you have more, you can scale up even higher. You can work with businesses that are less than that, but eventually you're going to hit a ceiling to how many people you can work with. So think about that as you're approaching niches. Is this scalable? Is there enough of them out there where I can scale this eventually to a 7-figure operation? So let's talk about the downsides. If we're working with too small of a niche, there's not enough of them out there, we're basically going to have to work with a lot of different niches. And like I said, that's okay when you're first starting, but if you want to really scale this up, you're going to have a repeatable process. And if you're working with a bunch of different niches, you're going to be reinventing that process every single time. So you're going to lack those standard operating procedures to hire somebody on and say, yep, take this playbook. This is how we do things here, scale it up, and you can be working on the business instead of in the business. So let's talk about a couple niches that you should be avoiding, especially as a beginner. First off, businesses that do not value leads. If they expect you to have direct or immediate sales, like e-commerce clients, you may think initially, oh, they're a digital brand. They're going to value running ads. Doesn't the LGA model make sense for them? Yes, but really these kind of companies, in order for them to survive, they're going to be running ads already. They're probably working with agencies already, or the founders know how to run ads themselves, because if they don't, they're not going to exist. So for you as a new person to come and displace another agency or be doing better than what the founders are doing, that's going to be difficult for you to do when you just started out in the space. You don't have a ton of experience to back it up. So simple businesses that value leads, these are going to be people who have been relying on word of mouth, traffic, people walking by the store. Like, these are great businesses to work with. We also want to avoid the low ticket businesses. Like we mentioned, this is going to be very difficult to scale. You're going to have to get it right hundreds of times per month in order to really show the return on investment. So higher the ticket, the better the client is going to be. And then we also don't want to work with businesses that are super seasonal or not enough of them within your country. So seasonal could be like resorts. While that was a niche that we tried in the beginning, it would always get to a point where we would book them out in the summer, and then the winter time, they always wanted to ramp down. They wanted to ramp down their spend, maybe pause, pick things back up in the spring. And that's difficult to have a business that essentially shuts off 3 to 6 months of the year. We want businesses that are year round, collecting money, making sales, and that's going to be the best type of business to work with. So what are the best niches you should go after as a new entrepreneur? Well, I'm going to drop a link that's going to have 85 different ideas that you can go after. That's going to be perfect for somebody who's just starting out. These are all businesses that value leads, they're high ticket, and there's plenty of them to scale. So I don't want you to get overwhelmed by this list. If you're just starting out, I would just pick 2 of them. Pick 2 of them that either A, you feel like you have some experience in, you're a customer of already, or you just simply feel like it could be a good fit for your personality. Pick 2 of those and then try that out for the next couple weeks. If for whatever reason it's not working, you're not gelling with those kind of entrepreneurs and businesses, swap it out. It's okay. You don't have to build your business around a particular niche right now. This is something that you're going to do eventually in the future, but not today. Not until you hit multiple 6 figures. So now let's talk about the secret sauce for scalability. What are the niches that are going to work really, really well for you? So first off, make sure they hit all of those 3 pillars. That should be obvious at this point. Let's avoid niches that you have no interest in whatsoever, no experience in whatsoever, or you're not even close to a customer of those businesses today. So what do I mean by that? Like when we first started, we worked with businesses that we were already fans of. We worked with record shops. We worked with restaurants, ice cream shops, like places that we could see ourselves going and being customers of today. So as we lacked the marketing experience, when we ran an ad, we could simply say, is this something that I would click on? Is this something that I would be interested in? And if you're not a customer, like we weren't customers of the beauty industry or cosmetic industry, it would have been very difficult for us to not have a ton of marketing experience and then go and market to people that we didn't fully understand because we weren't buying into those products already. So if you're not a customer of those clients, you don't have a lot of experience or interest, very much, I would say, avoid those niches. And this is something that is really going to allow you to scale. So if you lean into niches where you have a story, that is going to separate you from everybody. Nobody buys services at the end of the day. Nobody's buying ads. Nobody's buying funnels. Like, that's not what businesses care about. People care about stories. So if you have a story in the space or you have interest or experience in a particular niche, that's immediately going to give you an unfair advantage in the marketplace. While everybody else is just selling generic services, if you come in and have a story, you're passionate about this niche. Like I was talking to somebody who practices jujitsu. They're going after martial arts facilities because they have a story there. They can talk the talk. When they send messages to businesses, the walls come down because they're like, oh, this person gets me. This is really where you can start to scale fast and beat out the competition. Even if you're not as mature from a marketing business perspective, you can beat out these niches simply because your story resonates with them much, much better. So stories sell, not services. And like I said, this gives you an unfair advantage in the marketplace. So let's summarize here. You shouldn't be going after difficult niches to scale. So ones that are low ticket, they don't care about leads, they just care about online sales, and obscure businesses that are not scalable at the end of the day, or businesses that you have no interest in, you're not passionate about, you have no experience in, or you're not a client of today. Avoid those at all costs. I've got a niche list that you can look at down below that's going to spark some curiosity, spark some ideas, and just pick 2 of them. Pick 2 of them to start and be okay swapping them out if it's not working. So many people come to us and they're like, I've been trying real estate for 6 months and it's not working for me. And I'm like, do you have any experience in this space? Do you care about real estate? Well, no. Okay, well, what's stopping you from trying another niche? You should be in experimentation mode. You should be tasting different things right now, especially as a new business owner. So don't get stuck into this one niche to rule them all mentality. I know everybody's saying that online, but the reason they're saying that is because you need that one niche in order to scale from 6 figures to 7 figures. But you don't need one niche to go from 0 to 6 figures or multiple 6 figures. So be opportunistic. Be in the season of experimentation here. And that's going to get you success quick in this space. It's going to get you experience. And ultimately, it's going to make you more money. So let's go over some action items quick. Simplify this, okay? Look at the list down below. Pick 2 of them. Use the pick 2 method. That's what we talk about all the time in our coaching programs. Second, let's start our free Agency OS trial. This is going to be the lifeblood of your agency, the pipeline, the funnels, the automation sequences, all of this in one singular hub. Instead of having a bunch of different dispersed softwares to run your business, you have one simple Agency OS. So grab that link. It's hosted on Go High Level. When you sign up with our link, you're going to get our one-click install for the Agency OS system. So click that down below. And of course, book your call with us. This is going to give you the roadmap, get some questions answered, and get you started in the right direction. It's completely free. Grab some time down below. And if you're watching this and you haven't joined Growth School yet, I highly recommend it. That's for anybody who's not in our paid community yet. So this is where you're going to unlock all the advanced training. You're going to get early access to anything that we release in the future, live calls, weekly Q&A support daily, and we also give away a lot of free stuff in there. It's exciting. People are engaged, and this is really where you can be along like-minded people who are going to push you to grow. So take some action. Check out the niche list, pick 2, and I'll see you in the next video. So it's time to make some moves. You want to land your very first client, and I'm going to break down exactly how to do it, how we did it ourselves, and how we've taught thousands of students to do this as well. So without further ado, let's dive into it and get that first deal. All right, let's get your first client. Let's get in the game, get some experience, make some money. I'm very excited because this is such an important topic. This is where most people keep this a dream and never turn it into reality. So I am very excited to get into this content with you guys. So let's do it. Now, here's what we're going to cover. Number 1, we're going to overcome imposter syndrome and the objections you're going to face as a newbie. There's many things that come up internally, externally when you're doing something new, scary, different. If you're feeling this, that's totally normal. That's expected, actually. I felt this way. David felt this way. Thousands of students that have gone through our program have felt this way, but they've been able to overcome it. So we're going to unpack that so you guys can do that as well. We're also going to help you build confidence. This is key when you're first starting your business. You're probably not feeling super confident right now because you don't have a data set of you doing this before in the past. So we're going to help you build some confidence, show you how to land that very first client, and the offer and the campaign details that you're actually going to position this to your client. And lastly, we're going to show you how to turn your first client into 10. So how do we 10x this experience that we have to really build a sustainable business, something that you could quit your job, could augment what you're doing for your 9 to 5, or maybe you're in college and you don't want to step into that rat race. Like, this is going to set up a moat for you financially so you can do that. So warning, as always, don't skip this video. this is super important. This video is incredibly important. So I don't want you to fast forward through this. I don't want you to skip along or go to another video, because if you miss this, I don't know what to tell you. You don't have a business at this point. So pro tip, this is what separates the dreamers from people who actually make money at the end of the day. I know when I first started this, I was driving to my 9 to 5 and I was listening to podcasts and big thinkers of that time like Gary Vee, and he would say things like, hey, if you're driving to work right now, you're not an entrepreneur. And that stung because I knew, you know what, he's kind of right. I'm not quite an entrepreneur yet. I'm a wantrepreneur. I want to be one. And it took taking some action, overcoming these things, and getting my first client to actually become an owner, operator, CEO of my company. So this is the big dividing line. If you don't get this, you guys aren't going to make it. So make sure you do not skip this video. And at the most, watch it at 1.5x speed to get your way through it. So let's break it down. How do you get your first client at the end of the day? Well, this is going to be very much on the outbound side and the traffic in the beginning before we can even have these conversations about processing payments and fulfillment and scalability. We got to get you in the game. We got to get you some experience, confidence, so you can overcome these objections as a new entrepreneur. Imposter syndrome, objections. We're all going to go through them. I know I was personally, like I said, David was as well. Even though I had made sales before for other companies, I was still very much questioning whether this is something that I could do. Would somebody actually pay me? Like, what business do I have reaching out to these business owners who have more experience than I do? Well, first off, especially with social media, it's a young person's game at the end of the day. So these entrepreneurs and business owners that are boomers and older millennials like Gen X, like they didn't necessarily grow up with social media the way maybe you have, or even just going through a course like this. They haven't taken the time to do this. You know, how they've gotten to where they are today has been word of mouth. It's been building up reputation, but they haven't done it digitally yet at this point. So this is really your opportunity, just by going through this curriculum, just by training yourself, being a user of social media. You're most likely far more ahead than a lot of traditional businesses that haven't even created an Instagram, created a Facebook account, like ran ads before. There's tons of businesses out there, believe it or not, that have never done this. So have some confidence. You going through this process is going to separate you from most people out there. Now let's talk about the elephant in the room. The biggest obstacle you're facing right now is you're lacking experience, confidence, and a case study to show people that you know what you're doing. We're going to overcome that. We're going to equip you with experience, confidence, and a case study that you can go to market with. And the biggest objection that you're going to face as a new entrepreneur is, show me your work. Have you done this before? Can you give me a case study? AKA, they don't trust you yet. And we want to have an answer to that, because if I said, hey, I want you to go out and contact 500 companies this month, maybe be fired up and have some superficial confidence to say, let me go and do this, but there would be a lot holding you back internally, because you would know, hey, I've never done this before. I really don't have any experience. And what if they ask for it? What if they say, hey, show me your work, and I have nothing to show for it? That's going to hold you back. Like, you're not going to do the work because you know internally you're an imposter. Right? I felt this way. Many others have felt this way. This is totally normal and something that we can overcome. And a big problem that I see with a lot of people is they go into the marketplace without any of these things, without experience, confidence, or a case study. And they beat their head against a wall for 6 months, 8 months, and nothing's working for them. And then they come to us and they're like, what do I do? And we have to reset and say, hey, I wish you came to this video sooner so we could put you on the right path and not have you go through all that heartache. Don't be like them. You know, you're going to be different. We're going to get these things before we move forward, and confidence equals competence, right? We're going to get you competent, get some data, get some real experience behind you so you can actually be confident at the end of the day. Real confidence, not fake confidence, not bravado, but actual calm confidence. And this is the difference between success and failure. You know, after coaching thousands of students at this point, we've seen what works and what doesn't. Who are the people that come in, get the foundation stood up, get some experience, and start making some money, and those that struggle, They flounder with setting up their site and they worry about their logo too much or the colors or try to get the perfect package and the perfect offer, and they never get in the game. And it always is just a dream and it doesn't become a reality at the end of the day. So this is what separates those people from being successful and those that fail. So how do we overcome this? So the successful agencies, they do two things and they do these things well. Number one, they get the foundation or the agency OS set up before they even go to market, because you're not going to have confidence. You're going to feel like an imposter if you don't even have a website, don't even have a way to take payment. There's no funnel in your system to show you, hey, I'm doing this. This is real. When you speak with business owners, you'll be able to show them examples of what these workflows look like, what these funnels look like. Without the agency OS system, you're just faking it until you make it. And I don't want you to be in that position. I want you to really feel confident because you can do this. And number two, the biggest thing is they get in the game, they get experience. I really want you to make that your mantra here. How do I get in the game? How do I get experience? Okay? They don't wait until they've figured out every single thing, because this is an evolving space. There's always new tools coming out, new technology, and it's evolving rapidly. So you're never going to have it mastered. I'll just put that out there right now. You will never have this mastered, but that's what makes it worth it. That's what makes anything like entrepreneurship worth it. Jiu-jitsu is something that I do all the time. I'm addicted to it. Why? Because it's not something you can ever master. You can never just be a master practitioner at jiu-jitsu. There's nothing more for you to ever learn. No, it's an evolving puzzle. It's always changing, always growing. And that's what makes it fun. That's what makes it exciting to learn. And that's what makes business exciting, because it's always different. So don't wait until you have it all figured out, because newsflash, you won't. You need to get in the game. You need to get experience with the limited information that you have today, knowing in your heart of hearts, I can help these people. No matter what I do, I know I'm going to get more customers aware of their business. That's a net positive than what they're doing today. Know that your intentions are good. Know that you're not going to have it all figured out, and it's time to get in the game. So what is the offer? How do we position this when we don't have any case studies? We don't have anything to back it up. And I want you to think of a direct scale. So on one end of the scale, you have your experience as an owner and as an agency owner. So right now it's fairly low, right? And on the other end of the scale is going to be your offer. So how great is that offer? Meaning, is it buy one, get one, 50% off, free? Or are you charging a ton? It's a direct proportion. The more experience you have, the less kind of gimmicky sort of like discounts you need to do, and you can start charging what you're worth. But when you lack experience and you don't have that, your offer needs to be strong. It needs to be the best in the market. So offer and positioning is very, very important at this crossroads, at this point in time in your agency. Now, in the big, we're not a fan of gimmicky offers or anything like that, but right now you need to be competitive. You don't have anything to back you up. You don't have experience. You don't have case studies. The offer needs to be amazing. It needs to be free. It needs to be no long-term contracts, not 12, 6 months. This needs to be month to month at the most. And the deal needs to be as frictionless as possible for them to say yes. The more roadblocks you put in front of them, the more likely they're going to say no, because they're like, hey, this is just too much work. I don't have enough trust built yet. I'm going to back out. So we need to make it as easy as possible for them to say yes. As you get more experience, you can charge more. You can require these things like long-term contracts, like minimum 90 days, because you have a track record of this system actually working and a good proof of concept. So this isn't forever, but for right now, the offer needs to be the best. And this isn't just theory. I'm not just making this up. This is what many people have done in the SMMA blueprint, in growth school. This is what we did for our first case study. So quick story time. I'll show you how we did this. I was working for another company. I was doing sales and I wanted to start an agency, but I was running into all these issues. Didn't have experience, didn't know a lot of business owners, didn't have any money, couldn't run ads. Like, it was going to be difficult for me to start my business, right? So what did I do? Well, I started to think, do I know anybody that knows somebody that owns a business? Because I didn't have any direct connections. one of my family members knew someone who was opening up a hair salon. So I said, hey, can you give me their number? I would love to give them a call and see if I could work with them. And so they did. Gave me their number. This was before they were in any directories or before they even had a sign out front. So I called them up and I said, hey, my name is Derek. I own an agency in town. I heard about you're opening up a new hair salon from insert family member. And I'll cut to the chase. I'm a new business. You're a new business. I've been taking online classes to run social media ads for small businesses. But before I start charging people retainers and things like that, I'm simply looking to bring on 1 to 2 businesses to run their ads for free. My intentions are to do a great job, make a case study out of it. You don't have to pay a dime to me. I'll create the ads. I'll send you the leads. All you have to do is spend whatever you're comfortable with in ad spend on Facebook or Instagram. How does that sound? And she had a few more questions, so we went through exactly how this would work. But ultimately, she said yes, and we kicked off a campaign. We did a 14-day free trial, and it was a success. We got 40 leads in the door. All of those were potential customers in the local area, so we targeted women within a 5-mile radius of the hair salon because that was her ideal customer demographic, and she had a healthy amount of leads to kickstart her business. So you're probably thinking, okay, for a 14-day trial, that's not a lot of time. My budget is probably fairly limited, and to give you some context, I think we spent about $100 in ad spend at the time. You can do anything between $100 to $200. You can make this work. So how do you execute that? No time, very little budget, not a lot of experience. Let's talk about it. Well, this is what the offer is going to look like. It's going to be a giveaway campaign. Now, you can't do these in perpetuity. This isn't something that you're going to do every single time for the LGA model, but in instances like this, where we have a limited amount of budget, time, and experience to get a lot of leads, we can't just do a come on down and get a free consultation or these offers that are going to require a lot of time and branding and money to work. We need it to work quickly. So a giveaway campaign, just like we talked about, that direct scale, it works the same with budget. So I have a low budget. I don't have a lot of ad spend here. My offer needs to be great. It needs to be frictionless. It needs to be easy for the prospects to say yes. So we're going to do a giveaway. And to give you an example of what this giveaway looked like for this hair salon, it was around the holidays. So we put together a $100 hair package that include some products that we basically put on a table. There was already Christmas decorations in the salon. I just took a picture with my iPhone and we ran the campaign to local women in the area and just simply in the ad said, hey, we're giving away this package since we're a brand new business. Would love for you guys to come in and check us out. All you need to do to enter the drawing is give us your name, email, and phone number, and we'll pick a winner in 2 weeks. And we put the date in the ad as well. So it looked legit and people felt comfortable. I had limited time, so I just used the internal Facebook form, but I'll show you a better way to do this in further modules. And we got 40 leads. And they picked a winner. 2 weeks later, the 39 other people that had signed up that didn't win, she was able to call them one by one because we had their number and say, hey, unfortunately you didn't win, but here's 30% off your first visit, either a cut, color, or style. So we had limited budget. We had to tip the scale in our favor. We had to have an amazing offer to the prospects, to the people on the other end of the ad. And like I said, low budget, low time. That means you need to have a high offer, just like we talked about for getting your first client. So in further modules, we'll actually leverage this logic into the fulfillment strategy as well. But you're probably wondering, how can I do this? Well, you need to give yourself an unfair advantage here. So if you know any business owners, some of your family members own a business, you have a friend of a friend of a family member that can plug you in with this guy or this gal who owns a business, like that is going to give you an unfair advantage here. Leverage your network as much as possible. We've even had people just simply post on their social media, post on their Instagram, post on their Facebook, hey, I'm a new business owner. Go through that same spiel. I'm looking for 2 businesses to do a free trial with. I've been studying, taking online classes to run ads for small businesses, and I'm looking for 2. If you want some help, comment down below. Simple things like that. Boom, they've gotten 3-4 meetings from doing this. Very, very powerful to not make this harder than it needs to be at the end of the day. If you know people, you have friends of family, you have friends of friends, use it. use it to your advantage. Now you're probably wondering, what if I don't have a network? Well, you can do cold outreach like this. You can send emails, DMs. You can do free trial offers to people that you don't know. That's how you're going to build trust. And there's not a ton of expectations because it's free at the end of the day. Also, you can build a network if you don't have one, or join one. Join a group that's full of business owners. Like, go on Facebook, go on Meta, type in small business groups, insert your city, and see what shows up. There's most likely business owners, entrepreneurs that have these virtual groups that you can go in, start providing value, and add them as friends, add them as connections. So when you make that post, you've got people who can see it. There's also things like networking events, like in real life networking events. I know that's crazy. We're all in a digital age right now, but just showing up and going to a networking event and saying, yeah, I own a social media marketing agency. Yep, we run ads for people. What do you do? Simple as that can unlock opportunities for you. Like, we would go to meetup.com. I'll drop the link down below, but it's meetup.com. You would type in your local area and see what meetups are happening. Sometimes it's at a Denny's. Sometimes it's at a bar. Sometimes it's at a fancy hotel, and everything in between. Like, every different type of business owner is out there meeting up, trying to learn, seeing what other people are doing. And I would go to these events and nobody else was doing what I was doing. Like, there were just a bunch of traditional businesses, like real estate agents, roofers, gyms, restaurants, contractors, home improvement. It was just full of it. And I would show up and say, yep, I do social media marketing. If anybody wants to chat, my name's Derek. I'll be over here. Like, simple as that. I would get leads. I would get deals. Like, we would close opportunities from these in real life meetups. So that's a great way that you can build your network. If you don't know anybody, you don't have a friend of a family member that owns a business, any of these things, you can go and create these groups. You can create these networks. You don't have to just rely on what has been given to you. And like I said, you can do outbound, start local, leverage that advantage, like in your message. If you're messaging a coffee shop or somewhere locally, hey, I've actually been to your place multiple times. Like, it's a great location. Here's why I'm reaching out. And they're not going to be rude to you because you're a potential future customer for them. They're going to engage, and maybe they say no, maybe they say yes, but this is how you can get out there and put yourself in a position to win at the end of the day. So what are the outcomes of this? Well, best case scenario, you get paid. There's been tons of people who have done this strategy that do a 14-day trial, and then the next week they're getting paid $1,000 a month, $1,200 a month. It happens all the time. Like, hey, that was great. That generated a lot of customers. What else can we do? And the way you position that within the trial separates the people who just do a free trial and nothing ever happens, or people that eventually get paid. But at the end of the day, that's not the point. Like, we're really just trying to get experience. So, like, worst case scenario, they can't afford to move forward with you. That's fine. You have a case study. This is exactly what we wanted. We can answer that question of, show me your work. Have you done this before? Yep. Here's a case study. This was the hair salon. This was the problem. They're brand new. They didn't have a customer base. We ran this particular campaign. We got this amount of leads. Would love to set something up like this for your business as well. Oh, by the way, here's your competitors. This is what they're doing. They're also running ads on social media. This is going to give you relevancy in the space. So worst case scenario, you get that. And there's an alternative to this as well. Say you go through that 14-day trial. They can't afford to work with you. This was actually the case for mine. She was brand new, didn't have a ton of ad spend, just starting out. And I didn't really have a deep passion to go work in the hair salon space anyway. So I offered an alternative here. I said, hey, I'll keep doing the campaign for the next 30 days. But anytime I have a client that wants to speak with somebody that I'm working with or have worked with in the past, I could forward them your email and you'll send them a positive note that it was great working with me. And now I'm turning that one client into 10. So all the things that are going to hold me back in the future, I'm eliminating them through this strategy. So this is how you 10x that experience to get multiple clients and a referral engine for your business. So just to summarize here, you don't have experience, you don't have case studies, you don't have money. That's fine. That's everybody that starts. And the biggest thing you need to do is get some experience. And the giveaway, the free trial offer, it's not something I want you guys offering forever. But to get some real world data, get in the ad accounts, run the ads, go through that process, that is going to give you confidence. This is how you get it. You got to get in the game. You got to get it some experience, and watch this back to go over the positioning and how you actually sell this to business owners, because this is very, very important. And the people, again, that I see that do well in this space, they are the ones that go out and get experience quickly. They get their agency OS system set up and they get in the game. If those two things don't happen, the chances of success absolutely plummet. But if they set up the foundation, they go out and do a free trial, the chances of them growing their business successfully, scaling their company, go up dramatically. So get in the game, get some experience, review this video a few times, because I think it's so important for you to actually turn this into a revenue generating machine. Some quick action items for you guys. Ask yourself, who do I know that owns a business? Do I have a family member, a friend? Leverage those second degree, third degree connections if you have them. And think about, who could I offer this free trial to? You may be already thinking already, hey, my uncle, they got a mechanic shop, or like literally any business could work. It doesn't matter. The niche does not matter. This doesn't have to be your end all be all niche. It's just somebody who's going to give you a chance, do some work, and get in the game. So don't eliminate them, because it's not something that you want to scale in long term. Like us, we did it with a hair salon, had no intention of scaling that niche, but this was an opportunity for me to get in the game. You want to build your network, so join groups, both digitally and in real life. So meetup.com, see what local businesses are meeting up, where they are, the dates, etc. It's all on that website. If you're outside of the US, there's plenty of other options. There's other local meetup sites that you can join and check out. Join Facebook groups, join LinkedIn groups, like search for your town, entrepreneurs, business owners. You're going to have people congregating, and that's where you want to be. You want to insert yourself in those conversations. You can also do outbound, so you can post on your own social media. You can do emails, DMs. These are going to get you in front of people. And then, as always, start your 14-day Agency OS free trial. So we've got the link down below. It's hosted on Go High Level. This is the foundation. This is the lifeblood. Hopefully you've already set this up at this point. And then book your call. It's completely free. Get your agency roadmap, get kickstarted. I'll take these calls. We'll have some team members as well taking them in the future. So book them as soon as possible. And lastly, for anybody who's not in our paid community of Growth School, I highly recommend it. This is where you can unlock the advanced training, so funnel building, outbound, ads mastery, the whole 9 yards. It's all in there. We also do weekly Q&A, live calls. You've got daily Q&A, so you can ask questions in the group and get feedback from myself, our coaches, David, as well as the people in the community who are active. They're engaged and they're trying to grow their business. So join Growth School. It's the lowest price it's ever going to be. Highly recommend it. So get in the game, get some experience, and I'll see you in the next video where we'll cover client acquisition, and then we'll also get into the fulfillment process as well. I'll see you over there. All right, let's talk client acquisition. I'm gonna break this down in 3 easy steps, the same system that we use to scale our agency to the 7-figure level. So you're gonna wanna know, how do you get clients beyond that first client? This is exactly the video you should be watching. So let's dive into it. So a big problem I see in the industry is people get that first client, they get excited, they start building momentum, but forget the most important part of this process, which is keeping your pipeline full. Quite often, folks will neglect this area because they think, I need to just focus on this one client that I have now and provide the best results possible. And while that may seem like the right thing to do, this really can stunt your growth as an agency owner and keep you very vulnerable in this space, because if that client leaves, you have no more revenue coming in. So keeping the pipeline full with these client acquisition strategies is incredibly important. So let's dive into this. Here's what we're going to cover today. The client acquisition process, the system that we use to scale our business to the 7-figure level, keep it full, not have to worry about where our next client is coming from each and every month, because we have our pipeline covered. So I'm going to break down the client acquisition process so it's clear, you know how to grow your business successfully, and you can make a lot of money in this space. Then I'm going to go over the different types of acquisition methods you can use to accomplish this. So warning, as always, this is the most important video in the course. watch this entire video. Don't skip, don't fast forward. If you want a pro tip, I would say watch this at 1.5x speed so you can get through the content quickly. So let's break down the process. It's really in 3 stages: connect, discovery, and close. I want you guys to remember that. Connect, discovery, close. Those are the 3 steps in this process. So let's look at this in a bit more detail. Now, here's our client acquisition process. This is the system that we use for our business. This is how many successful agency owners in this space do this as well. And even before we started the SMMA or the LGA model, companies were paying David and I 6 figures to be doing this for their business, running client acquisition, building business development. When we first started, we had a mentor named Ron, and he was a VP of a pretty prestigious tech company in Minneapolis. And before we even got started on the phones or sending messages or DMs, he said, "Do you understand the sales process?" And I didn't really know what he meant. He said, "I want you to go look that up. Come back to me on Monday and let me know what you think the sales process is." So I went on to Google, started searching, and found some basic building blocks like, okay, you need to do some outbound, you need to do some appointment setting, start moving them through the process and the pipeline, and ultimately close them. So I had the framework, and I brought this to him and I said, "All right, here's the sales process, Ron." And he said, "Okay, great. You've got a general process. Now, how do we specify this for this particular role?" Which at the time it was for recruitment. And that's what we're going to do here. We're going to lay out the sales process and then show you the specific steps within the LGA model, within SMMA, to make you successful. Because if you can't see how this pipeline works and you don't really understand how somebody goes from complete stranger, doesn't know you, has never heard of you before, to paying you money, if you don't understand this linear process, there's no way you're going to close deals. So very, very important that we cover this in detail. Now let's start with the connection phase, the first part of this funnel. No matter how you connect with business owners at the end of the day, the goal of what we're doing here is to get them to the next step, which is this discovery call. And the point of the discovery call is to book them to the proposal and close them. So let's start with the final goal. It's to get them to the next stage. So how do we attract them? How do we find these people in the first place? Well, that's what we do in this connection phase. So there's 2 main methods that we can be doing: outbound and inbound. Outbound is where most of you are going to spend the time in the first 6 months to a year running your agency. Then once you get some experience, there begins to be this snowball effect. And now you can start having inbound activities to accompany the outbound activities. And this is how businesses scale from 6 to 7 figures. 0 to 6 figures is through outbound. So this is where we're going to focus first. We want to get you to that 6-figure level with your agency. And then once that foundation is built, we can take it to the next level with inbound. So what are these methods? What do they look like? Well, outbound consists of DMs, Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn messages, like sending people connection requests or in-mails. You could be doing cold calling, cold email, one-on-one messages, mass email at some point. We've got tools to show you on how to do that as well. Or cold calling, like I mentioned, just traditionally picking up the phone, dialing for the business owner, seeing if they're interested in having a discovery call with you. A very underrated space is networking events. Local events, digital events, meetup.com, fantastic way for you to find people in your local network who are business owners, who are looking for growth strategies. And then groups like Facebook groups, LinkedIn groups. These are all great places to do outbound and direct outreach to prospects and business owners. And as a bonus, upwork.com. This is basically a job board. Businesses are posting job opportunities, looking for help. And this is where you can connect with those companies, apply to that job, which doesn't mean you're an employee or 9 to 5 or anything like that. But if they're looking for social media help, they're looking for lead generation, these are things that you can apply for, connect with the business owners, and close them. Now let's look at inbound. So inbound is a little bit different. This would be like you proactively running ads for your own agency through Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, TikTok. Content creation is another way that you can have people coming to you. So it's kind of your push versus a pull. Outbound is your push. Inbound is your pull. How are we pulling in prospects? And content is a great way to do that. It is a longer term game, so don't expect to post a reel, make a TikTok, create a YouTube video, and then boom, have clients at the end of the day. Outbound is really where you want to spend your time if you want to have short-term results. But thinking ahead, looking at your agency from a year or 2 years from now, running ads, creating content, this is a great way to build your inbound channel. Referrals, so this is another snowball effect. This is going to happen. As you do good work, people are going to talk about it. Business owners are going to let other owners know, hey, I'm working with these guys. They're doing a great job. You should check them out. These are some of the easiest deals you can close because you literally have somebody vouching for you. Channel partners is another way to build an inbound strategy for your agency. So what a channel partner would be is, say your niche is the restaurant space and you provide lead generation or social ads for restaurants. Well, a good channel partner in that space maybe the POS system vendor or the point of service vendor. So every restaurant you go to, there's the iPad, you can check out, scan your card. There's a company that provides those things, either the software or the hardware to facilitate that. And if you could connect with a sales rep who is providing those services, who's already calling into restaurants, this could be a way that you guys partner together and refer each other to these clients. And it may just be, all I want out of the deal is to get a new client, or you may work out a percentage. So the restaurants that they refer to you, they get a cut of your monthly retainer. And that's fine because that's coming to you without you having to do any outbound work at the end of the day. So these are just more ways for you to scale your business from an inbound perspective. And then lastly would be a champion. So somebody who's well connected. These folks are typically industry who's. They work with a lot of different people. They're consultants. They're chatting with business owners and different types of clients on a daily basis. And while they might not provide the same services you do, they're in the same niche as you. So if they find a client that could be a good fit for you guys, they talk you up. They almost go through the discovery call process, connect you guys on the phone. You would just simply give them a finder's fee, maybe like 10% or less if you're doing like a monthly payment. But we have a champion within our business who's well connected in the Bay Area that we pay handsomely, so they get mailbox money anytime they refer clients to us, and we're happy to do it because we get new clients, new people into the agency, and it's a win-win. I'm just telling you this so you know where this could scale eventually. But for right now, as a beginner in the space, you want to be focused on outbound. And all these different options, emails, do I do this on LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram? It all depends on the niche. So some niches are going to be more active on other platforms than others. So naturally, you'll want to do your outbound on those channels. There isn't a one-size-fits-all answer, but I want you guys to know we go deep in this further into growth school, further into the curriculum, but just at a high level, you need to know what are the acquisition methods at your disposal. All right, so now that we talked about the ways you can connect with business owners, both outbound and inbound, let's talk about the next step in the process, which is the discovery call. These are going to be scheduled conversations that you stir up from the connection phase into the discovery process, where you'll learn about their goals, their business, how they interact with clients today, areas of improvement, and really securing that next stage, which is the proposal call. So let's dive deeper into the discovery process. An important thing you guys need to understand is if you want to be looked at as a strategic marketer or a strategic advisor in this space and not just a pitchy salesperson, you need to listen before you'll be heard. Okay, so what do I mean by this? If you want to be heard, you want to be listened to, you want clients to respect you, you first need to understand their business. And if you don't have deep expertise in a particular niche where you clearly understand their pains, wants, limiting beliefs, the discovery call is an opportunity for you to listen, for you to learn, for you to understand what this business's goals are, what they've tried before in the past, and then you can provide a solution. If you just come in blindly and you don't know what they do or who they serve, they're not going to respect you and they're not going to listen to you at the end of the day. So think about the discovery call as an opportunity to learn more about their business, how they're marketing today, their challenges, and their goals for the future. Without fully understanding this process and really where they're at, you won't be able to present a compelling solution. So just like I said, if you don't listen, you won't be heard. Why would they take advice from somebody if you've never understood their business in the first place? You don't understand where they're headed. So how can we map a goal, or how can we map a process to get them to a goal if we don't even understand it? So very important to almost have like a 70-30 relationship, to 70% listening, 30% speaking on this discovery phase. The more experience that you get in this space or niche, the faster you can go through this process from the beginning and make more assumptions because you already know that niche and you've talked to business owners over and over. So sure, you might want to know some monetary figures of where they're headed, but you'll be able to make a lot of assumptions and do more of the talking than the listening in the future. So once we have that discovery call process, we learn about the business's pains, wants, limiting beliefs. Then we go into the close stage. So really we're breaking this down into 3 calls or 3 touch points. We're reaching out to business owners. We're scheduling this discovery call. Then you have the discovery call, and then we go to the proposal and close call. Very important that before you hang up the phone in any of these stages, whether it's connection, discovery, closing, you're doing what's called gaining agreement. You want to gain agreement that you will have a discovery call on X date. When you first have a conversation with somebody, before you hang up, before you end the chat, the email thread, what have you, you set the date to have the discovery call. Then before you hang up on the discovery call, you set and secure the proposal call. And then before you end the proposal call, hopefully you're closing the deal at that point and gaining agreement on next steps like onboarding, payment, all that good stuff. So let's talk more details about the close stage. Like I mentioned before, as you've gone through this many times, you'll simply have 2 stages. You'll have your connection phase and then your discovery close combined into one call. But for now, let's keep it separate because you're still learning about the niche. New agency owners, you want to break this into 2 conversations. So this will give you an opportunity to prepare and come up with a compelling proposal rather than needing to come up with this strategy on the fly, because that's going to be difficult as a new agency owner. So here's a script that you can use. Say you get to the end of the discovery call, right? And you're not comfortable putting a price and strategy in front of them, which is completely to be expected. You're still learning about this niche. You just learned about this business. How are you going to pull a strategy out of the hat last second? Here's a script you can use at that specific point in time. Say, thank you for providing all this information. I feel like I have a good grasp on the business and your growth goals. Let me take this information back to my team. We'll put together a proposal that maps directly to the goals we just discussed. And I'll also do some competitive research and show you what the competition is doing from a marketing perspective. Either way, you'll walk away from this call with valuable information. How does next Tuesday at 10 a.m. or 2 p.m. look like on your schedule? So I'm gaining agreement on the next step before I hang up the phone or the Zoom call or the in-person meeting. So this takes away the pressure of you having to come up with that proposal on the fly. And we go into more detail on this later in the course, but just want to frame that up so you get the process, and that's going to liberate you to do some more outreach and outbound. Like I said, don't hang up the phone call until you book that conversation, and then get group feedback. So post in the group here, hey, here's what we went over on the discovery call. Here's some of their goals. This is what they're trying to accomplish. Here's how they're marketing today. This is what's working for them. This is what isn't working for them. And then let us help you put together a proposal that's going to map to those goals. So you can then have that proposal call and close the deal. So leverage the mastermind here. This is what this is for. This is what this school community is built for. And if you're in the paid community, you can also ask these questions on our weekly live calls on Thursday and get specific feedback on each client you're working with. So let's summarize the process. We're going to connect, discover, and close. So we can be doing that through outbound, DMs, emails, calls, networking events, virtual groups, Upwork. Then eventually, once you have a clear process from an outbound perspective, you can then do inbound. So ads, content creation, referrals, channel partners. This is how you really scale up the business. You want to connect with a business owner somehow, move them to the discovery call, move them to the close call. This is where you secure the deal, put pricing in front of them, onboarding, all the next steps. All right, some action items. Next step for you guys is to start mapping out your sales process specifically to your niche. And look at the outbound map that we laid out for you. Which one of these strategies really resonate with you and your skill set? Pick 2 for your market and execute. If you're new to the game, leverage the mastermind of this group. Post up how your calls went, get some strategic feedback, or if you're in the paid community growth school, you can join the live calls on Thursday and get client-specific strategies. As always, if you haven't gotten your 14-day Agency OS trial, grab that in the link below. This will be the lifeblood of your agency. Book your free call if you haven't already. It's completely free to get your agency kick-started, and you also get your roadmap as well. And then join Growth School, our paid community, if you aren't in there already. This is where you unlock some of the advanced training, so funnel building, live calls, Q&A support. We do giveaways from time to time as well. And really, when I talk about leveraging mastermind and people who are winners and people that can provide a lot of value to you, Growth School is full of agency owners just like you on the same path to support you along the way. So check out Growth School if you haven't already, and I'll see you guys in the next video. All right, this is about to be a beast of a video. We're gonna break down the entire strategy, the entire setup of how to fulfill services for your very first client. This is a big one, so strap in and let's dive into this content. All right, let's learn the skills, provide actual value, and get paid. This is a big video. I'm extremely excited to give you guys this content. So here's what we're gonna cover today. First, how to fulfill the services on your very first trial client. So we showed you how to get that first client, how to position it with the offer. Now we're going to back it up. Now we're going to actually fulfill on that client so we can get a case study. We're also going to break down the lead gen campaign, and we're going to explain what that's going to look like. We're going to show you how to set up your Meta ads account with your client. So full setup, the business suite, the Facebook page, getting access to it, the ad account, the whole 9 yards. Not holding anything back here. And then actually how to create the ad. And I'll walk you through why we set up things in a certain way for the LGA model. So you're gonna learn a ton. And also we're gonna cover how to convert the traffic. So how to get results from this campaign. This is vital to the campaign success. Warning, as always, this is the most important video in the entire course. This is a massive video, so you're going to want to go through this step by step, pause, work through it, etc. So don't skip this video. It's very, very important. And if you want to work through the curriculum quickly, go through at 1.5x speed in the time bar below. So where does this fit in? Well, this is going to be in the fulfillment stage. So we've done our outbound, we've had the discovery call, proposal, close, etc. Now we're on to onboarding and actually fulfilling the services. So this is where this fits in the Agency OS system. Now, before we go into the setup, let's talk about the actual campaign we're going to be running. So learning this skill will be the foundation of your growth in the LGA space. If you can run lead generation campaigns, you will make a handsome living. We're going to generate leads in a creative way with a very limited budget. So we have maybe 2 weeks. We maybe have a few $100s. We need to make that offer great, like we talked about, in order to convert. So we can even do this lower, $50, $100, $200. Like this is a low budget in the big for most clients. And just to be clear, this is nothing to a business with legitimate LTV or lifetime value of their customers. They'd be more than happy to take a gamble at a couple $100 to potentially get dozens and dozens of clients for their business. So how we're going to set this up is what we call an enter to win model, or the giveaway campaign. So you'll simply click on an ad, submit your name and email to be entered into the drawing. Very, very simple, but how we set this up, you'll need to go through click for click with me to set it up properly. We're going to run this campaign for anywhere from 7 to 14 days. I would recommend trying to extend it to 14 days if you can. That'll give you time to get access to the ad account, set expectations with the client, and then actually deploy the campaign. Again, like that scale we talked about, the better the offer, the more leads you can expect. So if you do something like a free consultation, that's not a substantial giveaway offer, and you can expect very little leads for something like that. But if it's a $100, $200 package that is enticing and people would actually want, you're going to get people opting in because they want to win. And if we target it properly, where they're also the ideal demographic for our client, that's going to be an amazing case study that you can use as the foundation of your business. So like I said, free consultation, not a good offer. $100 product package, now that's interesting. That's something I would sign up for. Quick warning before you move forward, get the Agency OS package because that has the giveaway funnel that we're gonna use later in this video. So if you don't have that, you're gonna be a bit behind and trying to catch up. So maybe pause this video, grab the Agency OS package down below. It'll take you to Go High Level. It's a 14-day free trial. But when you sign up for that free trial, you will get the full Agency OS system, which includes the giveaway funnel template that we'll need for this campaign. So before we create the actual ads, there's a few things that you're going to need. And this is going to be the foundation for everything we do in the ads platform. So what do we need? Well, first we're gonna need a business manager account, or also known as a Meta Business Manager account. Think of this as the overarching account that holds things like your Meta Business page or your Facebook page, your Meta Manager account. So you used to have to set up all these things separately, but we just need to set up two. And once we create the Business Manager suite, as well as the Meta Business page, we'll automatically get an ad account. So let's set this up. And quick caveat, if you're just here to run Instagram ads, you actually need these things in order to run Instagram ads too. So the first thing you're gonna wanna do here is set up a Meta Business Manager suite. If I click this link right here, what we have in the description, it will pull up this Meta Business suite. So let's pull up what it will actually look like if you're just creating this for the first time. So here you'll have get started. You're gonna wanna click log in with Facebook or Instagram. If you've never set up a social media account before, you can click create new account, but this is where you log in. And at this point with our agency, I've created so many ad accounts, so I'm kind of maxed out where I'm at personally, but it's simple and all you do is just sign in, walk through the prompts, and you'll be good to go. And like we teach in Growth School, we actually encourage you to have your clients set this up, and then we'll add you to their account in the future, and I'll show you how to do that. This just helps mitigate a lot of vulnerabilities when it comes to ad accounts getting shut down rather than having it all hosted under your Meta Business suite. So once you've logged in and just inputted some simple information like the business name, an email, things like that, you'll be able to click create account. Then it'll bring you to this screen. This is your Meta Business suite. The first step that you're gonna wanna do here once this is online is go down to settings here down in the lower left-hand corner. Click settings, and then you'll wanna click accounts and pages. So now that we're in the pages window, we essentially need to add a Meta Business page to this Meta Business suite. So there was three things we needed in the beginning: a Meta Business suite, a Facebook page, and an ad account. So now we're going to either assign that page to this Meta Business suite, or if it doesn't exist yet and the business that you're working with simply has never created a Facebook page, you can just add and create it here. So click this button here in the upper right-hand corner. This is going to drop down three different options. So the first option is going to be add an existing Facebook page. So if it already exists, say you're working with a gym and they've already got a Facebook page, rather than have them go and create a new one, you'll just add an existing Facebook page by clicking this button here. Now, if the business doesn't have a Facebook page, you can go ahead and click create a new Facebook page. This will pop up this window where you can name it, you can choose a category, I believe you can choose up to 3, and then a simple bio. Then you'll click next. And an alternate to this, if you need to go and actually create a Facebook page outside of Business Manager, you can just go to facebook.com/pages/create, enter the page name, category, and bio, just like we did. Click create page, and then you can customize it as you go, like adding contact information, a profile picture, cover photos, action buttons, number, invite friends. Like, you can do all these things when you're first setting up the page. Then you'll simply click done and you're good to go. Now, if we want to add an existing page, we'll just click this up top and you can simply type in the name, or if you have the URL, just copy and paste it here and then click next. Then you'll go through a review process. So the admins will get notified that the page is being requested access to. They'll approve that request and then you're in. You'll have ownership of the page. That'll get added to your Meta Business suite and you're good to go. So now that we've got our Facebook page added to our Meta Business suite, Our next step is we want to go to ad accounts. We want to add an ad account because that's where we're going to actually create the ads. So go ahead and click add account right here. And then in the upper right-hand corner, you'll click this plus button, add, and that will pop up this window. So it'll give you a few different options, just like our Facebook page. Create a new ad account, claim an existing ad account, or request to share an ad account. So again, just simply ask the client that you're working with and say, hey, do you have an ad account? If so, we can just claim it, move that to the Meta Business Suite. Or if it doesn't exist, they've never ran ads before, you'll just want to click create a new ad account, and that'll pop up a similar window to name it, add it to your business suite, and you're good to go. So once you create a new ad account, it will show up here in this window, or if you request access and it's approved, you'll get this green check. It'll say access confirmed, and you'll be able to manage that ad account here. The next thing we want to do is add the Instagram account. So if you plan on running Instagram ads, Facebook owns Instagram. So if you want to run Instagram ads, you run them through the Meta or the Facebook ad account. So we need to connect that to our overarching suite as well. So you'll just go over to Instagram accounts here on the left. You'll click on this button. That'll pull you into the Instagram account page. I've already got the Two Guys Build a Biz Instagram account added here and confirmed. But if you do not have this already and it's a blank screen, just go ahead and click add in the upper right-hand corner, and that's going to pop up this claim an Instagram account button. You'll agree to the terms and service. You'll claim that. It'll ask you to log in, and you're all set. Now we've got our Meta Business Suite, we've got our Facebook page, our Instagram page, and our ad account. Last thing you want to do here, if you just created this for one of your clients or you're walking them through step-by-step how to create this, you'll want to be added to this account. So say you didn't create this yourself and you were just walking through the gym or whatever business you're working with to create a business suite, an ad account, Facebook page, Instagram, etc. You'll want to just add yourself to their account. So you'll just go to people here on the left-hand side, and then you'll want to click invite people in the upper right-hand corner. Now this is going to pull up a pop-up window where you can just type in the email address of, in this case, yourself, and then you're going to give yourself access. There's one more thing I want to cover too. So if you had your client set this up, you'll also want to be added to the business pages. So you'll go to pages over here on the right-hand side, and then you'll click assign people. This is going to bring up different people that you can add to your Facebook page. You would want to type in your name and then simply give them full control or full access. Click assign, and you're good to go. Click all tools here on the left-hand side. This is going to pull up a window, and you can just access Ads Manager by clicking on Ads Manager. If you don't see this in the recently used section, if this is your first time going through it, it's also here on the right under Advertise, 3 down. You'll see Ads Manager. Click that, and then that's going to bring us to this account overview. So this is your Ads Manager account, your campaigns, and we'll want to click this Excel document looking button. That's going to pop open this window, and we can click campaigns. So we've got our example account pulled up, and I'm going to bring this into full screen here. So when you're first looking at the Facebook ad account, there's 3 things that I want to draw your attention to. You've got these tabs. You've got the campaign level, the ad set level, and the ad level. Each of these you can click through, and this is where you would see different data for the campaign. So think of the campaign level as the objective. This is what we want our campaign to do at the end of the day. So this is going to be the goal. This is what we want to have happen. So that could be traffic, that could be leads, that could be conversions, sales, etc. The ad set level is really where you do the targeting. So who are you going to put this ad in front of? Is this going to be people between the ages of 25 and 35? Are they going to live in the city? Are they going to live in the suburbs? What are their interests, their hobbies, etc.? This is all on the ad set level. And then lastly, the actual ad that you physically see in the newsfeed, so the creative, the copy, the image, and the link to the landing page is all in the ad tab. So those are the 3 buckets: campaign level, objectives; ad set level, audience; and ad level, your creative. So very important to understand that before we dive into the nuts and bolts. Otherwise, as we go through the campaign, you'll be like, where are we at in the process? So that's the overarching structure. So the first thing you want to do is click create in the upper left-hand corner, and it's going to ask you, what is the campaign objective? What is the goal of this campaign? And you've got a few different options. You've got awareness. So this is really just trying to get it in front of as many people as possible. In marketing speak, this is maximizing impressions is what people call it. Traffic, so that's optimizing for the click. I want somebody to take a specific action on my ad, which is click on the ad so I can take you to my profile. I could take you to a landing page, or we could open up a messenger dialogue or something like that. And there's even a call feature as well. Next is engagement. So this is going to be more viewership, essentially more people commenting on your video. You really want people engaging, tagging each other. That is what this is for. So sometimes we'll do engagement ads to build up the social proof of an ad. So if we launch it immediately, it'll have 0 likes, it'll have not that many views. But if we optimize for engagement, it'll put it in front of people who look like your audience, but people who are often engaging on the platform, people who comment a lot on Facebook or on Instagram. That's what this objective is for. And the next big one that you need to think about is leads. So that's good for things like instant forms. Facebook has this feature where you don't necessarily have to send traffic to a website. You can just simply have a pop-up that collects their name, email, and phone number, and then sends it to the Facebook page or your client. Great option if you don't have a web page builder, you don't have a funnel. But as far as conversion and having the highest quality, I think traffic is really going to give you that, because the leads will be more qualified by sending them to a third-party page versus the lead capture form. But we do use the lead capture form. Sometimes if we're in a pinch, we want to test things quickly, it's a great option. So for this example, I'm going to create a traffic ad. I want it to optimize for clicks. Then you're going to have 2 options here. You're going to have the recommended settings. So this is presets and really using Advantage Plus, which is their AI model. Or you can do manual. If I just said go through and do the recommended settings, you wouldn't learn too much in this tutorial. And I think it's much more valuable for you to understand the manual components within this campaign versus just doing the AI version of this. This is also going to give you a lot more control, and realistically why clients will pay you money to run their ads, because you're not just clicking the easy button and wasting ad spend on things that aren't going to work. You are building this out from scratch. So we're going to do a manual traffic campaign here. Now this page is just confirming what we just inputted into the campaign level. See these 3 buttons up top here? We've got new traffic campaign, we've got 1 ad set and 1 ad. We essentially have a draft created. And before we can move on to the ad set level, where we do things like targeting, budgeting, placements, we just need to confirm a few things. So the first thing is to name this campaign. So let's do a gym funnel example. So we'll do gym funnel giveaway. We're not going to declare a special ads category for this because it's simply a gym. But if you're doing things like an employment opportunity or housing, social issues, elections, you would need to claim this as a special ad category. If you're not in those categories, do not select this, because what this does is it takes away your ability to target. So due to the Fair Housing Act, if you're promoting a housing opportunity, Facebook will limit the amount of targeting you have. Now, there's other ways around it that we talk about in our advanced training. But for this purpose, for the funnel giveaway, you will not select a category. Our budgeting is auction, our campaign objective is traffic, and we're not going to turn on Advantage Plus or A/B testing because, again, this is going to initiate some of those easy button items that we just don't want to use right now, because I want to show you step by step how to set this up for the LGA model. So go ahead and click next, and that's going to take us from our campaign level to our ad set level. Now let's make sure our naming convention is matching. So we'll call it gym funnel giveaway ad set number 1. So here, the conversion location, by default, it's going to send this to a messenger, and that's not where we want this to go. We don't want to send this to a conversation. We want somebody to opt in for a giveaway. So we're going to send the traffic to a link into a website. So we'll select website as our conversion location. Performance goal, we're going to keep this on maximizing the number of clicks. Eventually, you could change this to conversions, but there's not enough data in the account right now, so keep it on clicks. Same with cost per result. We want to leave this open because we don't have enough data to say, hey, Facebook, I'm only going to pay $5 a lead or $3 a lead. There's no data in the account. Eventually you can do this, but right now keep it 0. Dynamic creative is off. We're going to show you how to actually set this up manually. And then for budget, this is a question we get all the time. How much should I spend per day? $20 a day is a great starting point, but that doesn't necessarily mean that $20 a day is going to be right for you and your clients. So take a look at the budget. Let's just say we have $200 to spend on this campaign. We could do a lifetime budget on this and just put 200. We're going to start it on this date and we're going to end it 2 weeks later. So from February 3rd in this example, we would do February 17th. That way we know this campaign is not going to spend more than $200 and it's going to spend it through the duration of the 2-week period. Now, this is a great option for a giveaway like this where you have a limited budget. But in general, if you were to run a lead generation campaign for a client, I would keep this on daily and just set a minimum budget, because what happens if you set an end date is the campaign ends. And if you're running something beyond a giveaway in the future, you'll want that ad to keep going. If it's performing, the last thing we want to do is shut it off. But for this example, since we're doing a free trial and this is your first client, we're going to set this up for a lifetime budget, $200, and then we're going to have it run for 2 weeks. Budget scheduling, that is off because we're not doing specific times. We're just saying, hey, spend $200 in this 2-week period. And then you've got a few things here. You've got your audience controls. So this is where you're going to set up like your location, demographics, interests, and then Advantage Plus. By default, this is on, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. It's just a way of Facebook and Meta going out and finding more people that look like your clients. So you can leave this off. So if we do more options here, this is going to give us a few things like age. We can do custom audiences. So that's just like data sets that we can go over in advanced modules. And that's all we have. But if we want to have more advanced targeting, like very specific type of gym goers, like say this is a CrossFit gym, we'll want to get more specific. So in this case, I would switch it to our original audience. So click use original. And that's going to unlock more capabilities for our detailed targeting. So let's start with location. Where is the gym? Let's say it's in Minneapolis. So we'll type in Minneapolis, Minnesota. By default, it's going to set it to a 25-mile radius. We could lower this to 10 miles. But still, as you can see, this is quite a big footprint. This is capturing 2 major metropolitan cities and over almost 2 million people. So this is a lot. Like the gym demographic probably isn't 2 million people. So let's get even more specific because we have a limited budget and we don't want to waste it on people who aren't going to actually show up to the gym. So what we can do instead of city targeting is we can put in an address. We can have address targeting here. So I'm going to do a quick Google search of a gym in Minneapolis and we'll use their address for this example. All right, CrossFit, Minneapolis. Let's check this out. Here's the address. I'll just copy this over. Go back to my ads manager targeting. We'll remove the Minneapolis location and just put in this address. Now, again, by default, 10 miles, but here we can go even lower. We can go down to 1 mile. So this is very specific. Hey, maybe people won't cross this river in order to go to the gym. So speak with your client and say, hey, how far are people willing to drive to your location? And that's going to help determine your targeting. So I'm just going to do 1 mile. That's about 50,000 people. Just for the sake of this example, let's open it up to 3 miles. Maybe people are willing to drive a bit further. This is a downtown location, so this could actually be closer to 2. And now we're going to add on some more details like age, gender, what they're interested in. So ask your client, what's the average age of the people that come into the gym? Let's say it's 25 to 45. That's going to be their target demographic. It's a CrossFit gym, so both male, female is fine. And then let's layer on some additional interests like CrossFit. That's a targetable thing. We don't want to select employers because that would give us people who are actually working at a CrossFit gym. We'll want to do interest, people interested in fitness, CrossFit gyms, etc. So now that just took our audience from over 100,000 down to 23,000. So getting a lot more detailed in the people that we're putting it in front of, which is good. We have a limited budget. We don't want to spend a bunch of wasted ad spend on audiences that aren't going to convert. So this is pretty niche right now. We've got a 2-mile radius around the gym, people between 25 and 45 who are interested in CrossFit. And this is giving us a pretty tight audience at this point. Sometimes it'll say things like your selection is fairly broad. Not really. Sometimes this will say your audience is too narrow at hundreds of thousands. So take this for a grain of salt, what this estimate says. Now that we've covered our budget, we've got our goal, where we're sending the traffic, our audience, now we need to put in the placements. So if you click show more options, if you just leave this and hit next, Facebook is going to blast this ad all over the place. It's going to put it on stories. It's going to put it in the corner. It's going to put it on Facebook Marketplace. It'll go in the news feed. And your ad is going to be warped and stretched all over the place. That's not good. We don't want that. We want to be very intentional about where we place these ads. So for this example, let's just put this in the news feed. So if I do edit right here and change this to manual placements, this is going to unlock the ability to select the platform and where on the platform we actually put this. So let's just say we only want this on Facebook. So I've got Facebook feed, Facebook profile feed. I'll take this off the marketplace, video feeds, right column, explore page, stories, reels. I'll remove all this just so it's showing up in the feed. Now, if we wanted to make a separate ad that was just a reel or just a story, we would have a vertical piece of content that we could use for this. But for this section, we're going to just use profile and Facebook feed. This is going to disrupt somebody if they're scrolling, they're going through their news feed, they'll see our ad. And then we can click next. Again, let's keep the naming conventions the same. This will save you a lot of headaches in the future when you're trying to go through the campaign and say, hey, where's my performance? Like, how is this working? If everything is just untitled, you'll be very confused as to, what is what. So let's do gym, funnel, giveaway, ad number 1. Here you'll select the Facebook page. So I'll go and do Two Guys Build a Biz as an example, but if you hooked up your Facebook account for your client properly, in the first section, it would show up here. If you wanted to do an Instagram placement, you would go back to the ad set level, scroll down, select Instagram feed, and then you would go and actually select the Instagram account. But for right now, I'm just doing a Facebook page, so that an option isn't there. We'll do manual upload for our image, single image, because it's going to be pretty difficult in a 2-week period to go and shoot a video and do a bunch of crazy creative. We're just going to do a simple Canva-based image for this giveaway. Now we want to go to set up creative and image ad. This is going to pull up the creative setup. If you wanted their AI system to go and help you build an ad campaign, you could put in the URL. It'll pull some images, but we're going to set this up manually so you can see the whole process. So I'm going to leave this blank for now, hit next, and then I'm going to put in a simple text. So I'm going to write, hey, Minneapolis, we're giving away a $100 fitness package to one lucky local. Simply click the link below to enter into the drawing. If you are selected as the winner, you will receive, just put in the details, 1, 2, 3, 4, really build up the value here. And then you can put a brief description if you want, and then a simple call to action. There's a few options. You can't put in your own call to action. You have to select it from this list. So let's just go through and see what makes the most sense. Order now, get access, request, subscribe, sign up, apply now, book now, get offer. I think that makes the most sense. You'll hit next, and then this is where we actually add in the ad itself. So I've got a few different examples here. Here's like a 7-day free trial ad that I created, but I'm going to show you how to actually set this up so you're empowered to do this for your clients. So if we go to canva.com, a free tool that anybody can use, you can go ahead and click create design. Let's just say gym Facebook ad. It's going to give me some dimensions, and here's some examples. We've already got some templates. I'll put in gyms. So let's try this one. I would replace the logo. So it's a very drag and drop system. As you can see, I'm just moving things around. You can put in their phone number, their website. I might add in things like how much it's valued. So you could say like $100 value by adding another text box, $100 value. Blow this up a bit, increase the size, maybe give it some effects to give it some depth. And then you can add little elements. So you can get creative with this. Whatever your heart desires, you can make it in Canva. Very, very simple. I'll probably match the text color to be this kind of cream beige. Cool. So now I have a simple giveaway offer. Now, it might be more effective if you also had like an actual photo of what you would be giving away. That would be more aligned here. But for this example, I'll just use a stock image, and then we'll go ahead and download this. Once this is downloaded, we'll go back to our Ads Manager account. We'll then upload that image. Once it's processed, we can select it and then add it into our ad. Click original. Actually, this wants a square. So I'm going to go back. This is a good example. Hey, this didn't quite fit the type of ad that I wanted. How do you do that in Canva? Well, you can simply go here and resize this. And we're just going to set this up as a square. Select square, copy and resize. I may have to move a few things around. For the most part, it should be pretty close. So I'm going to grab these elements here. Just shift click, you can expand it, make it larger. I usually try to follow a 25% rule. Like I don't want the text to take up more than 25% of the image. You technically can, but sometimes Facebook doesn't like that and it can throttle your performance. Move some of these icons. As you can see, this is all super drag and drop, really, really simple. Awesome. So now I have a square. I'll go ahead and download that again. Go back to my Ads Manager. I'm going to go back to Media. I'm going to upload this, put in the square image. Once it's uploaded, I'll select it, hit next. There we go. Now I'm going to turn off all optimizations. It's just going to optimize your ad in a bunch of different ways. So I'll turn this off. We'll hit done. And now we can see this ad coming together. Hey, Minneapolis, we're giving away a $100 fitness package. Simply click the link. Here's the value. So it could be like a foam roller. It could be 1 month free trial, personal training boot camp, cold plunge and sauna recovery package. Like you could do a whole suite for your client. And now you're probably wondering, where do I send that traffic to? Well, if you got the Agency OS package, which you should have already, in that package is the giveaway template or the giveaway funnel. So let's pull that up. So I've got the Go High Level Agency OS system set up. By default, it's going to show you your dashboards, your opportunities, the people coming through, the stage that they're in, any tasks, manual automations. We're going to go down to sites. This is going to give us our giveaway funnel. We can open this up, and then from here, we can edit this. Now, there's a lot of stock images here, so I would want to pull in some of those images that I created. So I could delete this and just replace this image with a new asset by simply clicking that button, clicking upload, adding in this free package that we just created, select it, copy the link, and then I would paste that link right here, and that would change this image. Boom. So put in their logo, match the colors accordingly. You can have a little countdown here, which you could say ends in 14 days because it does. And if it was 10 days, it would have the actual counter. So you can set the deadline. And then you could have some additional information about the gym down below, but we really just want their name, email, and phone number, and a consent to communication. They hit this button, goes into your Go High Level instance, and then you can collect those leads, and now you have some value that you're driving to these clients. So I'm just going to copy this test link. You'll want to connect this to your client's domain. So if it's www.minneapoliscrossfit or whatever it is.com, click connect domain, add that domain, and it won't be a preview link. But for the example of this ad, I'll just drop in the preview link so we can see this fully functioning. We have the makings of an ad here. We've got our link, we've got our text, we've got our image. Now we can simply hit publish, and this thing is set up. So we've gone through the whole process of setting up an ad account, Facebook page, ads manager, everything that you need to understand from a campaign level objective. We touched on some of the targeting. There's a lot more in the advanced modules, but at least for this giveaway, you are equipped to run this campaign. Very simple, but the fact that you understand how to do this now is really going to enable you not only to fulfill these services, but sell better. You're going to be more confident just because you've gone through this process and you conceptually understand how to do this. So you can talk the talk when you're speaking with business owners. All right, well, first off, congratulations making it this far in the video. Big ups to you because we just went through a lot. You've now upskilled yourself in the agency world. So now you know exactly how to fulfill services for that very first client. If you haven't already, start that 14-day trial of the Agency OS system hosted on Go High Level. The links are down below. That's where you're going to get the funnel that we just used in this example. Book your free call. I'm taking some of these calls. Some of our coaches are taking these calls. So you might just have a conversation with me if you click this link. So I'm trying to scale the unscalable here and give as much value as possible, just like we're doing in this course. We're not holding anything back besides advanced tactics so you can get started, get this agency off the ground and start making money. So book that call to get your roadmap so we can make sure you're moving in the right direction, answer any questions. And then of course, if you haven't joined Growth School yet, what are you waiting for? This is our paid community. This is where you can unlock all the advanced training, deep expertise when it comes to ads mastery, funnel mastery, Go High Level, outbound, building your agency, scaling, weekly Q&As, live calls. There's a lot going on. So check out Growth School down below. It's the lowest price it's ever going to be. So jump in now. So congrats. You just learned a lot of information. You are now empowered to fulfill services for your very first client. I'll see you in the next video. All right, here we go. The Ascension Path. You're making progress. Let's talk about where you go from here. So this is going to be a quick video, but first and foremost, I just want to say congratulations. Congratulations for making it this far, going through probably the most difficult part of starting a business. We've seen thousands of people come through our channel, come through our program, and there's two things that really determine the success or failure of agencies. Number one, do they set up the foundation of their business? Basic stuff, name, email, website. Do they have that built out, the Agency OS system? And second, do they get in the game? Do they get experience? If those two things are accomplished, the chances of success go up dramatically. So you've learned so far in this course how to set up the Agency OS system, how to land your first client, and actually how to fulfill services on those clients as well. You've also learned a lot of stuff like how to pick a niche, different outbound tools and methods that you can use, and most importantly, the most profitable SMMA you can start, which is the LGA model. So if you're in Growth School already, you can just move on to the next module in the course. But let's break down what this looks like for people who are watching this in Growth Club or you're watching this on YouTube. This is what you've learned so far. Like we just broke down the LGA free course that you're in right now, the Agency OS system, services, client acquisition, scaling. That was all learned here on YouTube or in our free Growth Club community. If you're on YouTube and you haven't joined Growth Club, highly recommend it. There's lots of freebies in there, community, thousands of entrepreneurs. Check that out. But what is the next step? Where do we go from here? If you're not in Growth School yet, I highly recommend joining our monthly membership. It's the lowest price it's ever going to be, and you're going to get all kinds of coursework like our full ads mastery course, Go High Level Mastery, Outreach Mastery, how to go and get clients with your own paid ads, and so much more. We do live calls every Thursday. You get support for any questions that you have within the community. And we've also got a bunch of courses and things that we share in here that's not on the screen right now, like Wealth Mastery, how to manage your finances, personal development tactics that we use to break through these ceilings that we have as entrepreneurs, we're sharing in this group. So we're pouring our energy into this community, and this is by far the highest value product we have at the lowest cost. And one of the biggest value adds that nobody else is doing in the space is I will actually personally take a phone call with you when you join Growth School. So I'll make sure you get onboarded, your questions are answered, you're moving in the right direction, and really set up a unique plan just for you. So I'll personally be taking those calls. That's not going to be some other junior level rep that I'm going to put on. It's going to be me personally. So if you're watching this video, we're still offering that, which is crazy. It's not an additional price. We can have a conversation with an actual 7-figure agency owner like myself to help you grow, start, and scale your agency. And then those that want one-on-one support moving forward, so more calls with me beyond the free one that you get, you can actually upgrade to the annual plan on Growth School. So annual members get a lot of great things. They get live call replays for all of our Thursday conversations. They also get a link to my schedule where they can book time with me throughout the week when they're onboarding clients or they have questions and just want more one-on-one support and not in a group Zoom setting or the community setting. So this is a great option. It'll actually save you some money, plus you'll be able to schedule time with me as well. So that's a huge unlock. And then anytime you have questions, annual members, they actually get priority. So we have a form that you can fill out before every Thursday call to make sure that you're not waiting for your question to get answered. You're first in line. So that's the Ascension Path. I mean, congratulations for going through this course. I hope you've learned a ton. We've tried to provide as much free value as we can up front. And if you have gotten value from the free stuff that we're giving, just think about what we have in all of our other courses where we go deep in all these advanced tactics to support you along your journey. So some action items that we should go over quickly. Number one, decide. Is Growth School monthly or annual the right step for you? Start your 14-day trial. I'm sure you've already set that up at this point if you're this far in the video, but if you haven't for whatever reason, I'll put the link down below so you can get the full Agency OS package with your 14-day trial, and then join Growth School. If you haven't already, school.com/growth school. Check it out. It's really our baby. It's something that we're pouring everything into right now, and I can't wait to see you in the community. And if you're worried about making an investment, it's a month-to-month. There's really no risk to join, see if it's a good fit, and if for whatever reason you're not satisfied, you can leave the group. No questions asked. And if you're still not convinced, I would challenge you to think about where you are today. What have you done to get yourself to where you are? Is that really going to take you to the next level? Can you see yourself running a 6-figure, 7-figure business by just doing the same things that you've done over and over and over in the past? Or do you see this as a potential shortcut, a way that you can start to unlock these opportunities like location independence, financial freedom, operating a business, the laptop lifestyle? Like all these things are possible if you just take that leap of faith. So I know you won't be disappointed if you join Growth School. I'm very much excited to meet with you and really help you build this dream. We'll have a one-on-one call and get this thing kicked off. So what are you waiting for? Join Growth School, and I will see you in the community.